Off day today for the Buffalo Bills. They'll be right back on the practice field, though, tomorrow, Friday, and on Saturday, where they'll be in the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. But for more on the last couple of days, Sal Capaccio has a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. And coverage of training camp on WGR is presented by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs has found a new home. He is signing with Washington on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. The 32-year-old did spend last season with New England, where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then some more lineup news for tomorrow night's Hall of Fame game. Third overall pick, running back Jeremiah Love, is not going to play tomorrow for Arizona. Some early afternoon action in baseball. Bisons are hosting Norfolk. Buffalo, though, does trail that game 6-2 in the 6th. And then also in action, the Blue Jays are at Houston. That one is scoreless in the 3rd. A little bit later on tonight, Mets are at Cleveland at 6:40, while the Yankees, they host the Cardinals at 7:05. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway. It's Mike Schopp.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And the Bulldog.
Hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
On WGR.
Hump day!
Sports Radio 550.
Hi there. Thanks for listening. I've still got my patchwork assemblage over here with the headphones, with the tape, and the computer with the broken screen. And a new development today, the arrows don't work.
Computer with the... I didn't know you had a computer with a broken screen.
Oh, yeah.
That's your own property, though. That's not Work's...
Yeah, it still works way better than the work ones.
Okay.
But not for long.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
the screen is cracked. It's been maybe 2 months.
You could...
And it's separated from the base here, so that happens. And as of today, it sometimes hit and miss, the arrows don't work. I think it's like a person, where like a person gets old and you start to hear about like different problems they're having, and each one is a step in the wrong direction, but there are there's a certain order to these things sometimes.
Trying to stave off being that person.
Yeah, we all are. I mean, that's what you
just really,
do. We all
really just Heisman. It's just over there.
But the arrows feel like some sort of a bodily function that does not bode well for the future of this machine.
I can't. We know each other very well, but I don't know. What your immediate future holds or what your plans may be. But you could commit to a new pair of headphones. I could
buy some.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you could.
I'm trying to buy other things lately.
Yeah, all right.
Instead. That I think have just come in a little bit above the headphones.
I think the pair that I am wearing right now are these. I think these are headphones I bought at the airport. I was leaving on a trip, and I realized, I don't have headphones, and so I went and they're not wireless. Obviously, they've got a cord here. And I did that. I went to a vending machine at the Buffalo airport at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And used my credit card to buy a $50 pair of headphones that probably cost $80 in the machine because, it's the airport.
There's a upcharge
for
buying them at the airport.
I think
you were
so.
desperate. You wanted them for the flight.
I really wanted them for the flight, and, so I threw myself on that. Like, okay, whatever. We're going on vacation. I'm splurging.
There was a headphone crisis, if you will, a few years ago here, where still it's sort of like funny that there's this pile of headphones over here.
Graveyard of headphones over there. It's like some desert in Arizona where airplanes are parked.
It's weird because for a long time you never could get a pair of headphones if you needed one. Like you couldn't find yours or yours weren't working,
right.
And there was just none of this. Now, kind of ironic that we have this pile of headphones, but there was a moment there. several years ago, this is 2 bosses ago, where I kind of needed headphones, and other people here kind of looked at me sideways, like, what do you mean need headphones?
Yeah,
get your own.
Bring your own. Yeah, right.
Like, oh, is that how it works now? So apparently they thought it was how it works now, and now we're talking about headphones, so I can feel this thing like sort of dangling off the side of my head. And like the boss at the time, this is 2 Tims ago.
Uh-huh.
Tim's like, all right, everyone here. I'm going to buy everyone here a new pair of headphones, and then that's it. He wasn't like this way about it. He was, always very
polite. Yeah, very
easy to work with.
Yeah, right.
But he's like, I'm going to buy everybody one pair of headphones from the company. After that, you're responsible for your own headphones.
I missed out on this.
Did you?
I did not get headphones.
It's a long time ago.
I did not get Tim phones.
It's between COVID. It's 2 Tims ago.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. I might have not even been in the building.
But it's probably right here in this pile.
Maybe my headphones ended up there.
Never touched them.
Yeah, I always.
So these are those.
Okay.
That's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
We have the loose cord, and we have the broken ear, and we have the duct tape. But I know, like, this is it. There's no going for, unless I just grab one of these, there's no going for, the next pair back in the engineering department.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't plan, speaking of deserts in Arizona, I wouldn't plan on going in there and looking for anything.
I don't. There's no way.
That's not a good, I take mine home with me. So, because I had my own that I kept in here, but the need of headphones, other people needed them. I would have to say, this is judgmental, but they didn't treat them with the sort of respect you would treat something that was your own. And so they eventually fell apart because, people just treated them badly. I don't think I ever did. This is not a pair of headphones I ever threw. Mm-hmm. That happened one time. It was a long, long time ago.
Is it Dallas?
And those were also mine. No, that was the Saints guy. Remember the Saints guy? The Saints reading blogs about why don't we trade for Drew Brees or something? Maybe there was a Saints guy that cited blogs,
like a caller
or message boards. Yeah, a caller, and I lost
Saints
it. Yeah, Saints guy, and I threw my headphones, and they broke.
Wow.
Those were also my own. I did not break company property. Anyway.
Oh, it's cleared up.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be coming for me.
Yep.
Who's they?
Well, we press on. The arrows is what it is.
The arrows and the headphones.
The arrows, the headphones, the duct tape, the whole thing. The big day is Saturday for the new stadium, or as it's officially known, the new stadium. The scrimmage on Saturday. And it appears that, from pictures that I saw today, the stadium, or as it's officially known, the old stadium, is in ruins. It's completely demolished.
Yeah, all the stands are gone. I think the
suites on the far end.
Or were offices. I don't even know. I think that's still
maybe
there, and the Bills store, I believe, is still in front of right at the front of the property closest to Abbott Road.
The Bills store must not be demolished,
right? But I wondered. I don't think I've heard it asked. I'm sure. Like I did watch. Sal mentioned his podcast with Matt Beauvais, and they were having Pete Goelli on. I did watch that last night in its entirety, and there was a lot.
Hey, I was on last night.
There was a lot of talking there about retail opportunities, but I did not. I guess I don't know if the Bill store is moving across the street eventually or staying where it is.
Well, I'm sure you'll tell me when you find out.
Yeah, but anyway, it's the stadium's gone. The old stadium is gone. Yeah.
We've known this was coming for a long time. We've seen the new one go up. We've seen the old one go down. I don't feel like I've had enough conversation about the significance of this, actually, even in this amazing opportunity that I have with you every day to like be available for conversations about this, whatever we choose. But like, I don't know, like, what are people feeling? Is it sad? Is it exciting? Which is the more dominant emotion?
I don't know, but while you were away at the end of last week, I talked one of the days. Thursday it was. You had said earlier in the week, like, the Bills fans, is there like a malaise kind of? Are we? I don't know, bored? Like,
about the season?
About the season, right? And I wondered if the stadiums, both, I mean, the old one being gone and the new one being up, lends itself to a certain uneasiness because it's new. It's not familiar. It's not, you don't have all the same plans necessarily with all the same people. Like I think it could be a part of it. It's not has nothing to do with what you think of their depth chart or their rookie linebacker or anything. But I think there could be a sort of a, I tried this on Graham when he was on, and he thought, like, yeah, I like how you're thinking. Like, it's just uneasiness because you don't know where you're going. You've known where you were going your whole football life, probably going out there. You knew.
I've been lost a couple times, but okay, yes.
And the new is new. So
trying to get around the other direction before you realize that you can't do that.
Right. So I did. Yeah. I mean, I talked about that a little, but I don't know. I think it's a part of a part of this offseason and the season is that we're not sure of our footing exactly. Like if I would tell you this, we don't go, we stopped going due to COVID and then just never picked up going again, right, for the games and doing post-game from on site. It was just more convenient to be here or for me at home on Sundays. Here for you, me at home. And so, but if we were going, if we still had the games, I think we'd probably be going to the new stadium to do post-game because, it's the new stadium and what are you doing? All hands on deck kind of thing, right? I was expecting that anyway. I would feel a lot of uncertainty about where to go. Where am I parking? Where's the entrance? Because I'm like that. I like to know where I'm going. I like to know as much as I can know about my destination on a given day or whatever. And I think it lends itself to just a little uneasiness. It's exciting. It's mostly positive, but things that are positive, that are changes, can also cause you to be a little uneasy.
Well, I'll go as far as, and this would be different for everyone, I'll go as far as to think that if you're a season ticket holder, that this would be it's kind of upside down or inside out, but a distraction to the season and your normal ways of looking forward to it and making plans. I mean, I think for what it's worth, the Bills on the field are pretty much the same as they've been the last several years, where you can feel pretty good that you know what you're going to get. There is a new coach, like that's different, and it's never like a given. Right. But they're not a team where there's a lot of change. They're not a team where you just have no idea what to expect. I mean, they're really very close to the complete opposite of that. So I think almost anybody would feel like, yeah, they'll be good, right? I mean, Josh Allen,
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. I just feel like the fact that Rich Stadium, Ralph Wilson Stadium, is gone is, it's maybe trumped by the fact that there is the new place. I mean, of course, there would have to be. But, I mean, just sitting with the thought and the pictures of the stadium in rubble is really like, it depends on kind of how you're wired and maybe what the place meant to you. I mean, I think there was a time when the Bills were in the drought and it looked kind of bleak, whether they might even move, where it felt like fans, this is maybe where the tables thing started. Like, it felt like fans just treated it like a junkyard, that it was never Lambeau Field, but it was never a place like that had that sort of reverence, or people had that reverence for or respect for. Instead, you'd hear stories of, pictures of people having sex in the stadium and just like different things like, but there's a lot of people. I mean, that's not to say everybody was doing whatever crazy things, but there were stories along the way, and where am I going? I mean, our fans are rabid and, loyal, of course. We take a lot of pride in our loyalty toward the Bills and everything like this. And the stadium just naturally would have this very important place in that. I mean, most people, that's where they've played their entire lives. I mean, that's since the early 70s. I'm barely old enough to predate that, but I don't remember the Bills playing in the rock pile. Do even you?
Barely. I mean, barely. I'm 8 in 1973. My first Bills game experience was in the new stadium. I'm sure I
every memory you have of the Bills
is in the news
at home. Is there?
Yeah, I don't really remember anything about games that I saw or could have seen that were played at War Memorial.
Yeah. So just like, it's not like all those memories just go away, but it's incredible that they're not going to be on that field anymore, and then we're not going to be in those seats anymore. It's what happens. It's what happens, but it's also maybe in Buffalo here something that for most of that time you might have thought would never happen. That if ever I would have said it, I'm sure I would have said it. Like, there's never going to be a new stadium. They'll move. You know, it goes back 20 years. It goes back to Peter King, maybe wagging his finger at us. Like, Castle Pines, Colorado has more people than Buffalo. You know that, right? Like, just, okay, well, we're less than. Thanks for reminding us. And if they're ever going to need a new place, which is inevitable, that it'll be somewhere else. But instead, it's across the street. Like, there's so many different ways of looking at it and, maybe emotions that you'd have about it.
Yeah.
But they're going to open on Saturday for that scrimmage, and it'll be everybody's first time back out there since Mitch Trubisky threw 4 touchdown passes against the Jets in their final game at the old stadium. That happened, by the way. Allen never threw more than 4 there in a regular season game. 5 in the New England playoff game.
Okay.
That's his personal best, I believe, at least at home. Anyway, you go back out there, and they will not be there.
I wonder. I watched this It's Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast with Sal and Matt
when I was on
last night. Well, it might have been after you were done even. What time did you start? Anyway.
We go forever.
Okay.
No chance. You go to bed before we're done.
At one point, Picoelli said that they're way ahead of schedule getting the old stadium down. That it was by March of 27, I think is what he said. They were maybe contractually obligated with the county or the state or whatever to like have that, ready to be redeveloped in some way, right? So they're way ahead of schedule. I wonder if people were if people were aware of that, because I admit, like, I didn't think the stadium was just coming down like the second the new place was, they cut the ribbon. That maybe you'd have, the year or part of this year where you'd be going to games and still see the old stadium across the street, but now it's rubble. I don't know. I wonder. I haven't really spent time. I mean, there was 1 or 2 threads that I was tagged in on Twitter, while the wrecking balls were doing their things over there with, people, talking about memories, and it felt like a sad thread of kind of like, see you later, old friend, that kind of thing. But I haven't. It kind of caught me by surprise that it's down, which I think is the point. Maybe the initial talking point here is like, it's gone. Yeah, I didn't think it would be gone.
I like how you said that time. It's funny how the builds always take too long. They're behind schedule, but the demolition's always like they're never behind schedule. Right. It's just going.
Bang. It's blammo. It's done.
There's no reason to wait around. We don't need to check the blueprints.
And because of the way the thing was constructed down into the ground, like there wasn't even, you didn't even need like a, like explosives set around. Like, right. There wasn't anything dramatic where you could like go watch from Chestnut Ridge or something when they No, it's just gone. It was some tractors just hammered into the ground, and that's the end of it. So, yeah, I've never really, last year, I talked about on the show quite a bit how I took Owen to the game. He had been to other games, so it wasn't his first game, but it was my first time sitting in the stands since 2002, maybe. Like, whenever I started working with you, I never went to another game as a fan. Like, we were in there, working. Mm-hmm. But even prior to like this version of my life, the media version of my life, which is now 30 years of my life, half of my life, I never went. Like, it was never a place. It was never like the Odd to me. It just I went. I probably went once every 3 years, if that, on average, through the stadium's life. Maybe even less than that. It was
never a church.
It was never a church to me. And, with that in mind, like, I never really wanted to say last year, my experience, because I know everyone was kind of going through it, right? The stadium is our last time, last season. This might be your last game. It was jarring to me how just outdated it was. Like from a current 21st century stadium standpoint. And Pete said this on the podcast a couple of different times. Like, there was no getting up and going to the concession stand like at the first quarter break and expecting to be back in your seat. Like, traversing the concourses was extremely challenging. The lines were extremely long, both the restrooms and the concessions. I absolutely experienced that at that Miami game. Like, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done at a sporting event, to go get a piece of pizza and then find a place. I didn't want to go jam myself back into the seat and try to eat a piece of pizza because I'm sitting, like, I got I'm on the balls of my feet because my legs won't fit entirely in the spot. So I'm sitting uncomfortably. My calves are twitching because they're stressed the whole time. And I'm going to try to eat a piece of pizza while balancing a drink. And no. So let's stay on the concourse. And the TVs on the concourse looked like they were from like 1985. Like the smallest possible TVs everywhere on the concourse, on the 100 level, like the main level of the stadium. Okay, not the suites or the clubs. I know there are a lot of nice spots in there. You could barely stand on one side of the concourse and see the TV and watch the game that you're at. Like, getting back to the seat was not a good idea. Standing here, of course, you can't see the field, but there's just concrete everywhere. And the TVs were like, it was like the worst bar you've ever been in to try to watch a game. And I was like,
the only thing they weren't doing was putting like Law and Order on with the sound down.
Right.
Like when you go to a sports bar sometimes.
And my thought was, this sucks. This is not a good, this is terrible. But I didn't want to like go loud with that last October or September or whenever that was. I went to that Miami game because I know it means people who went all the time, and I know I would be like this if I did go all the time. That all that becomes charming. It's a part of the thing, right? Like, no, well, you can't go to the bathroom at halftime, dumbass. Okay, right? For me, not having experienced it in 20 some years, it was jarring. I just thought, like, man, I can't wait for the new place. I'm sorry. Like, I never thought I'd be like that, because I sitting in the stadium itself to watch the game is fine to me. Like, I didn't need, despite the legroom point I'm making, but that's me. I'm a giant, I mean, most people aren't 6'5". But I thought it was, I felt like, wow, it's time for a new place. Standing in there last year. So I didn't, and I sat on that for months, like I said, because I didn't want to be the guy that's like, you people are all crying over a place that needs to be replaced. But now I feel like,
how much crying has there been? That's really what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm not crying. Neither are you. You're like ready for it.
Yeah.
I think maybe a lot of people are, for whatever reasons like that they might have, it would have, again, naturally evolved to a point where it just sort of, if you went to other stadiums, new places, you would feel like, all right, this is a relic.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of knew that anyway. But almost all of my memories of the Bills are in there, many of which are firsthand, with different people and different seats and different opponents, different decades. Like, it's all from that bowl. It's all like right there. And I think what tends to happen is you just sort of get used to the new facility, the new location, and either it morphs or it doesn't. It's just separate. And I don't know, like, it just what it is. People in the 80s would tell you about the rock pile, or the 90s, and they would tell you about, people throwing beer cans that weren't even empty, and just different things, the mud. All the different,
people bringing coolers into like their own cans of beer to throw, not $18 cans of beer you bought at the concession stand.
I don't know. I'm just kind of in the mood for the nostalgia. And even if that's just like good riddance, I couldn't see the game. I couldn't fit.
Yeah.
But really, once the season starts, we'll talk about these beautiful new features. off and on, but it's really about the games. It's about their season. And now that the old place is in ruins, seems like as good a time as, and with the new one opening in 3 days, to kind of take a minute for some perspective on that. If anybody wants to, I mean, I made a list of, not that I needed to, but just a few of my favorite days out there. One of which is a hockey game, same as you.
Yeah.
But there's no practice today, even
Right. Yeah.
kind of wanted to talk about it as we've been doing.
Yeah.
803-0550 for your calls. One guest scheduled, Eric Edholm. He's been covering the NFL a long time, now with Yahoo. He'll join us at 4 Eastern. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll look for your calls after this timeout on WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
definitely we've watched it, we've put it in the past, we've learned from it, and we've been in the playoffs a lot of times in the last however many years I've been here now, and just continuing to find ways to learn from it. And I think it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we haven't gotten it done, but you knock enough at the door, it's going to open at some point, and that's just what we have to keep doing is keep knocking on that door and giving ourselves chances to be in that situation again.
Josh Allen with Kevin Clark. I mean, a lot of that typically is just, it's what you say. How much learning is there to do, really, though? What is left to be learned?
Yeah, it's not like, you should try to hang on to the ball. Right? Like
that shouldn't have needed to be a new lesson.
Yeah, that shouldn't need to be reinforced, I don't think. Whether that's Allen himself, running around before the end of the half, or Brandon Cooks not securing the catch well enough to have it ripped from his arms and turned into an interception. And,
Cook had a fumble in that game, didn't he? Big hit.
Yeah. There were 5 turnovers, and 4 of them were like Allen, produced. There was
2 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions, then Cook had a fumble.
Right. Okay.
Also. But that's not something that you needed to learn.
Same thing with, like I said, Cook securing the catch. So, I don't know. But, there's not there. What else do you say? Yeah, I'm eternally frustrated, and I can't get over it. I wouldn't be able to. I don't live my life like that. And certainly a pro athlete shouldn't and can't. So it's on to the next thing, and we're gonna try to get it right next time. We'll be in the position, hopefully, to get it right, and hopefully we do, and some new calamity doesn't arise.
Yeah, it's really the best I can do, and this I've said this many times. It makes it tough for me to really figure out what the Bills should do about their roster in the offseason. We always talk about wide receiver. There's always that. But they do have a great running game, and they have built around it. And so, here they've traded for a wide receiver. We'll see how much value he carries, DJ Moore, in the upcoming season. But what makes it tough for me is I just feel like the only thing that's left is for them to execute in those big spots. And Allen has taken his turn, I think, flubbing those moments. You had the Kincaid quote drop in Kansas City. You have this Cooks play last year. Any other plays you want to single out, it's not like it's ever been one guy. But, it's just to say that Allen is not immune from this. He's not removed from this. It's just that all I can come up with for what to make the difference this year is in those, and this is coaching too, in those moments, can the Bills be the team that figures out what the move is, what the play call is, or just can they avoid the mistake? Ideally you get into leads and you're in position where it doesn't come down to these last minute moments. But really, so what do you do to your roster? And really, this is kind of in Bean's defense. What do you do to your roster to set yourself better up for the end of the Denver game, the end of these Chief games? I don't know. The more good players, the better. Again, if you're running away from these teams in the playoffs, you have nothing to worry about in the pressure moments. But I kind of think it just has to happen. I think of the Kincaid play in Kansas City is a big one 2 years ago because it was after a timeout, and here were the Bills, season on the line, and they saw a look from Kansas City that I think maybe blew their minds. It just was not that overload on Allen's right.
Well, I think they saw a look that I don't know that it blew their minds. I think what Kansas City did off it is what blew their minds.
Okay, right.
I think they thought, we've seen this all day. We know what this is going to be, and then they did something else
and they
off
blitzed
it.
Everybody.
And from the other side, they thought it was going to be a blitz from over here, and it turned out and that just threw everything off.
Yeah. There's one thing. There's one example, maybe as good as any. 13 seconds is its own animal.
Yeah.
But just, having it in those moments. And I don't know, here's Allen talking about learning from their losses. Talk to me. Tell me what the lesson is.
I think all you can really learn is how to be resilient. Like that's I think that's all you can learn. You learn that you have to keep going, and that you have no choice but to keep knocking on the door. That is resiliency, and that's the only thing I think you can really learn. Because again, they should not. Someone pulling a rabbit out of a hat and doing this when you thought they were going to do that. That's going to happen in football, and I don't who's to blame for that. Should they were coming out of the timeout? Like, are you calling? You can't call another timeout there if the Bills had already called the timeout. I don't remember the order of things, but anyway, it's like they swerved when you thought they were gonna do something, go straight, and you scrambled around and tried to make the best of it and chucked up a prayer, and your guy couldn't come down with it. I don't know what you learned from that other than. All right, I hopefully that goes better next time. like I want to. Nothing that has happened so far makes me not want to be in this spot again.
Mm-hmm.
That's resiliency, and that's all you can really take from it. Because I don't think there's not a lesson in. I mean, the Bills. That's what makes the Denver loss. I mean, it was only the second playoff round, so it's not like they were all set or anything. But they would have made the AFC title game. If Cooks comes down with that ball. And, it's not a perfect throw, but it's good enough. I mean, Cooks has got it's overtime, and you've got your man beat, and the ball is there, and it's right. He cradles it. It's right in his arms. He had to slow down, and the defender caught up, and that caused the conflict as they went to the ground. But still, it's a well enough thrown ball. It's a completed catch. Not easily, but it's not like it would have been a great catch by Cooks. It was right there. And you're so close. Like, you were watching that play, and it's, what just happened? He had it. Why doesn't he have it anymore? Why does their guy have it? So, yeah, I don't really have a lot of time for learning from that.
No, it's just what you say. I mean, what's a follow-up questions, I think, in these sort of situations seem very rude.
Right.
You're not really going to ask me to explain this, are you?
Specifically, what did you learn?
I'll sit here and take your questions, but I'm not listening to any sort of,
hard
follow-up
right,
questions.
Right.
I mean, come on, just, let's go to the next thing.
Cross-examination. Here comes the other lawyer. What did you mean when you said?
Give me an example.
Right. No.
I like what you said. I think that it should mostly come naturally. All right. And this is what you're hearing from everybody around you probably is like, new season. Nothing.
Right.
Brady has said these kinds of things already. Like, we haven't won anything yet. There's nothing, 0-0. Like, everything in the past is kind of meaningless. So that would be the messaging. And so I think most players would take to that pretty easily. Maybe it's not as easy when you get into the playoffs and then you're being reminded of all your losses. Like, with each ensuing year, that gets louder. And now the Bills will go, if they make the playoffs, which, we think they should, now they'll go in for the 8th year in a row. And in each of the previous 6, they've won a game. The 7th year ago was the Houston year when they lost in the wild card. But 6 years in a row, they've won a game. Like, they've hung around in the playoffs, and a couple of those years they won 2. So lots of experience at it, Mm-hmm. Shouldn't that be good? Don't you want experience? Don't we tend to think that teams without experience are just sort of destined to lose because they don't have it yet?
When they get there, yeah.
Like Seattle last year.
Right, they couldn't figure it out.
How would they know how to have played in the playoffs?
Hang on,
What were they doing?
Let me check my notes. Right.
The Chiefs had lightning interruption today at their practice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was short, I guess, but they left and then went back out there. We have uniform themes. Uniform themes.
Yeah.
This is not to be confused with uniforms. This is uniform themes that include uniforms.
Yep.
I think the schedule, I don't know why this is. Maybe it's because sometimes there are 9 home games and sometimes there are 8, and so maybe it's starting to sort of work on me that this is only 8 and like, where are all the games? But they have a pretty long break. Like, they have November 1st they play. Maybe that's Miami. Then they play on Thanksgiving, and then they play in mid-December. Like they have one game at home, of course, only, between November 1st, so basically Halloween, and a week before Christmas.
That's right. Yeah, they play the Ravens on November 1st, 1 o'clock
Baltimore.
Sunday.
Okay, good.
Baltimore. And then, 2 road games, a Miami game, Kansas City, back-to-back.
Okay, I meant Sundays then. When I was thinking about this.
There's a third, the Thanksgiving
right.
game is there, Thanksgiving night.
So 2 in 1 week.
Right, yeah. 2 and 5 days.
That's right. Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
And then right before the Bears game.
Right.
Right before, like a week before Christmas?
The 19th, yeah.
The 19th of December.
Yep.
So that's what I was thinking about when I brought this up. Sundays.
The Bear game is on a Saturday, but yeah, okay, right.
All right, so Sundays is November 1st and then maybe the last game. Is it?
Yeah.
Or November 22nd.
Well,
Miami.
Right. Correct.
And then January for Sundays.
And that we don't know when that game is.
That's right. That could be moved.
Yeah. Could be on Saturday.
That one, uniform themes. That one says red alternate. So is that red?
That's the
red uniform?
That's the color rush, I think, is what that is. That's
not just the red helmet.
Right. I think that's all red. Because they're wearing the red helmet only once, and that's in Denver.
Okay.
On Christmas night, they're going to wear the red helmet.
Okay.
I don't know that they've formally announced all that, but Pete Gwelly confirmed that I got a lot out of this podcast.
That's probably in the white uniform, like last year in the playoffs.
He wouldn't say.
Denver.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Well, they always wear.
He wouldn't commit to what it was going to, but they're wearing the red helmet there.
Denver always wears orange or dark at home.
Right.
Almost always. Maybe I can't ever picture them not wearing.
Yeah, I don't see them in white
orange
at home.
Or blue.
Yeah, right.
I saw the blimp today.
I saw pictures of you having seen the blimp. Well, I saw a picture. Your camera saw the blimp. Yeah, I mean, so I assume you saw it.
Yeah, my friend said he saw it yesterday too.
Yeah.
I asked Pete Gwelly if the blimp is here for the Bills, like for the stadium, and he said not that I know of. Is there something else going on?
I don't know. Nothing comes right to mind. Like why the blimp would be here? Maybe they're just training.
Am I normal for I was cutting my grass and I just turned the mower off and stared at it and took pictures of it? Is it normal behavior to be interested in the blimp like this?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible you and I are just the same weirdo about this, but most times I have ever seen the blimp, I've been driving. When it's in town, I'm driving on the 190 or the 90, and I see it, and I want to just stare at it. But, I'm driving 60 miles an hour.
You're going to a game probably, or leaving a game.
Or it's whatever. I don't think I've ever been on a lawnmower or standing in my yard and looked up, and I don't think the blimp really comes to Parkside, and go oh, the blimp. Most times I've been driving, and I've never pulled over, but I'm distracted by it just because it's the blimp. I only see the blimp on TV.
It's the blimp. It's the Goodyear blimp.
Whenever you see the blimp, it's just kind of the blimp. That's cool.
I thought about, I don't know why I didn't. Just lazy, I guess. Looking up the blimp. Does the blimp have its own handle, have its own account and website?
Right. I wonder
if it
would
be this is why we're...
Blimp itinerary.
This is where we are today?
Can you find... I bet you probably can.
I want to go do that. I meant to do that and just didn't think of it, but some site that tells you where the blimp is.
I'll bet that's out there.
I mean, it was where I live is right basically very close to Navy Island on the river. And I had that big idea once that the Bills should build a stadium at Navy Island, Bills Island.
Yeah.
And I wonder maybe if somebody was doing a package on all right, here's the new place. Here's where the old place was, and here's what could have been Navy Island. And the blimp is just taking shots from the sky of Navy Island, and the deer with the 5 legs or whatever that was.
The deer, yes.
The
Navy
unique
Island
species
deers.
Of deer.
Yeah.
Deers. Even. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'll try to find out. But Pete said, if the blimp was here for the stadium or anything like that, he didn't know about it. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, Eric Edholm coming up in less than 20 minutes, talking NFL. This is WGR. All right, so whether this is AI or not, a couple of people on Twitter have said that the blimp, this is Wingfoot 2. I got as far as to apparently learn that Wingfoot 1, there are multiple blimps, is in New York City, but that might have even been old. The website itself has a bunch of upcoming events, and they're all in the past. So somebody's not really on top of that. You know, like a golf tournament in April is shown. I don't think that's really helpful anymore. But Wingfoot 2 is said to be in the area for an employee event in the falls.
A Goodyear employee event.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
56th Street in Niagara Falls. And that's where I am. I mean, that's where I would have seen it.
Right.
I saw it come around 3 times around Navy Island. So Niagara Falls, sure. It turned around. I mean, I can't exactly tell where, but basically came around Navy Island and then back across the top of Grand Island. And it must have just kept going around and around. It just goes round and round.
Well, that was an easy question to get answered. Why is it here?
Yeah, I'm guessing these people are correct in passing that information along. Looks like they looked up. They did what I could have easily done and didn't, which is just
Google it.
Ask Grok or something.
Right.
And they'll know.
Ask Grok.
So it's not here for the Bills. The scrimmage. Might have been the first ever blimp-covered scrimmage. If it were.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's commonplace.
Scrimmages usually don't get the blimp. Most things don't.
Will the blimp be in Canton for the Hall of Fame game tomorrow night? I don't know. Just asking.
Good question.
Is it the first preseason game of the year blimp worthy?
I could see it. Yeah, maybe. I'd like to know all there is to know. How much is it? Do you need to be a sponsor? Is one network more blimp oriented than the others? Like
right.
Does CBS have the dibs on the blimp or something?
Right. Well, because somebody's got Snoopy 2. Like that's not
Snoopy
Goodyear.
2.
So yeah, that's right. Advertising dollars matter there.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back.
Definitely, we've watched it. We've put it in the past. We've learned from it, and we've been in the playoffs a lot of times in the last however many years I've been here now, and just continuing to find ways to learn from it. And I think it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we haven't gotten it done. But you knock enough at the door, it's going to open at some point, and that's just what we have to keep doing is keep knocking on that door and giving ourselves chances to be in that situation again.
Josh Allen with Kevin Clark. I mean, a lot of that typically is just, it's what you say. How much learning is there to do, really, though? What is left to be learned?
Yeah, it's not like, you you should try to hang on to the ball. Right? Like
that shouldn't have needed to be a new lesson.
Yeah, that shouldn't need to be reinforced, I don't think. Whether that's Allen himself, running around before the end of the half, or Brandon Cooks not securing the catch well enough to have it ripped from his arms and turned into an interception. And,
Cook had a fumble in that game, didn't he? Big hit.
Yeah. There were 5 turnovers, and 4 of them were like Allen, produced. There was
2 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions, and Cook had a fumble.
Right. Okay.
Also. But that's not something that you needed to learn.
Same thing with like I said, Cook securing the So I don't know, but there's not there. What else do you say? Yeah, I'm eternally frustrated and I can't get over it. I wouldn't be able to. I don't live my life like that. And certainly a pro athlete shouldn't and can't. So it's on to the next thing, and we're gonna try to get it right next time. We'll be in the position, hopefully, to get it right, and hopefully we do, and some new calamity doesn't arise.
Yeah, it's really the best I can do, and this I've said this many times. It makes it tough for me to really figure out what the Bills should do about their roster in the offseason. We always talk about wide receiver. There's always that. But they do have a great running game, and they have built around it. And so, here they've traded for a wide receiver. We'll see how much value he carries, DJ Moore, in the upcoming season. But what makes it tough for me is I just feel like the only thing that's left is for them to execute in those big spots. And Allen has taken his turn, I think, flubbing those moments. You had the Kincaid quote drop in Kansas City. You have this Cooks play last year. Any other plays you want to single out, it's not like it's ever been one guy. But, it's just to say that Allen is not immune from this. He's not removed from this. It's just that all I can come up with for what to make the difference this year is in those, and this is coaching too, in those moments, can the Bills be the team that figures out what the move is, what the play call is, or just can they avoid the mistake? Ideally you get into leads and you're in position where it doesn't come down to these last minute moments. But really, so what do you do to your roster? And really, this is kind of in Bean's defense. What do you do to your roster to set yourself better up for the end of the Denver game, the end of these Chief games? I don't know. The more good players, the better. Again, if you're running away from these teams in the playoffs, you have nothing to worry about in the pressure moments. But I kind of think it just has to happen. I think of the Kincaid play in Kansas City is a big one 2 years ago because it was after a timeout, and here were the Bills, season on the line, and they saw a look from Kansas City that I think maybe blew their minds. It just was not that overload on Allen's right.
Well, I think they saw a look that I don't know that it blew their minds. I think what Kansas City did off it is what blew their minds.
Okay, right.
I think they thought,
It's an off day today for the Buffalo Bills. They'll be back, though, on the practice field tomorrow, Friday, and on Saturday, where they'll be in the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. For more on the last couple of days, though, Sal Carpaccio does have pieces up at our website, WGR550.com. And coverage of training camp on WGR, it's presented by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs, he has found his new home. He's signing with Washington, a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. And last year, the 32-year-old spent the season with the New England Patriots, where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then we also got some more lineup news for tomorrow night's Hall of Fame game, as the third overall pick in this year's draft, running back Jeremiah Love, will not play tomorrow night for Arizona. Well, in baseball, some early afternoon action. The Bisons hosting Norfolk. Buffalo, though, does trail that game 6-4 in the 9th. Also in action, the Blue Jays, they are at Houston. That game is tied 3-3 in the 6th. The Mets are at Cleveland at 6:40, and the Yankees, they host the Cardinals at 7:05. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
Name any word in less than a second. I will tell you how many letters are in it. But I cannot do anything mechanically. I don't even know how to put a game together for 3-year-olds.
And the Bulldog.
Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
3-year-olds. You know what that could have been? I think my son was around 3.
Daycare game like parent. You went. I think I remember this story.
Okay, I don't. So I'm just thinking of a thing I had trouble building when my son, who was now 16,
Sorry, I'm
3.
I'm confusing two different. I'm confusing the Connect 4.
Connect 4 was I just couldn't beat his friend.
You couldn't beat his friend, yeah.
When he was little.
Yeah, okay, different stories. Sorry.
Different, around the same, maybe not too much time apart, but we came home from Disney once with the monorail. You could build it, the monorail.
Like a Lego version? Or?
Well, not by brand name, but yes,
okay,
you're putting the monorail together.
Yeah.
That goes through, and my son was obsessed with saying that, like Lilo and Stitch. No smoking, Stitch. He just kept saying, no smoking, Stitch, all the time. He'd put Stitch in the car and then take him out of the car and put him back in it. And no smoking, Stitch. We take him just like obsessively. And that was... I mean, it maybe took me a month to build that thing. I don't know. I'm sure the instructions were fine. I just was not. I have not grown in this area either. Thankfully, I don't need to do more of this now that my kids are teenagers. But that's me. With us now on the Western Hotline is Eric Edholm. It's been a while, Eric. Now with Yahoo, let's talk. Eric's been around a long time. He knows about the pads starting to pop, Bulldog.
Pads popping.
Players wanting to hit other players with different colored uniforms.
Oh, no. Is he a ball knower, and is he here to chop it up with us? Because I don't know if I can really handle all that.
I am told, Eric, that one topic we have to discuss is the Who. Apparently.
Well, we don't have to. Eric and I had an exchange on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about the Who. Let
me put my Legos down and then we can talk Who. Yeah.
Please, yes.
Love the Who. Yeah, that was a good chat. That was a good reintroduction to a song for me.
It was friendly, I hope, the banter?
It was friendly. Yeah. Eric just posted how he had heard the song Going Mobile many times, but never really had listened to it, and just declared the song is way better than I ever gave it credit for. And I saw that and had recently had an experience with an album that I've listened to thousands of times in my life since I was a teenager up to now being 61.
Not the same album.
No, a different Who record, Quadrophenia, which is it's one of my absolute ground floor foundational rock records. And a song I'd heard thousands of times. I just heard a lyric within it that I'd never noticed before. So when Eric tweeted about this Going Mobile thing, I said, the same thing just happened to me. I almost had to pull over when I heard this lyric in this song because I'd never heard it, before. I think I'd pay attention.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
Those are the best moments when you can rediscover that one little nugget you never saw before. Maybe that'll be the case with the Bills this year.
Here we go.
Like maybe the same team we've watched virtually for or at least it feels that way with Josh at quarterback, I guess. Now it's got a little bit of a different look, and we can give it a different kind of listen or something. I don't know.
We were just talking about a soundbite from Allen with Kevin Clark where he talked about it. This is just really, I'm not trying to be critical of Allen for this, but it's kind of what guys say in this sort of situation, Well, the best we can do is to try to learn from these defeats in the playoffs every year. I don't know what there is to learn anymore. I mean, one thing could have been don't turn the ball over for the previous 6 playoff losses, and they turned it over 5 times in Denver, so they didn't learn that one.
Right.
How do you feel about this, Eric? I mean, this team is coming up upon sort of a historic place in NFL history for all the winning they've done, and the Ravens too, for all the winning they've done, but not yet to a Super Bowl, even to appear in one. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously they're one of the teams that you'd put at the top of the list of the ones that not only historically haven't won a Super Bowl, but haven't won one in recent years where they had ample opportunities to challenge for one. So that's obviously a huge disappointment. It hangs over everything Joe Brady's trying to do here, and was a huge reason obviously why Sean isn't back. So yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated to see what the differences are. Are they more aggressive? Are they more about explosive plays? Is it, I mean, that was something Ben Johnson brought to Chicago. I think that was a big difference in their success last year. They weren't a perfect team, but they were able to sting teams with those big plays on defense, big plays on offense. And, I almost wonder if there isn't something to be said for that. I mean, when the Bills have been at their best, it's when Josh Allen is creating magic, and obviously they're able to rely on their defense to get that key sack or key turnover. I mean, again, we can talk about what the run defense looks like and what the new personnel and the new front's going to look and all that, but really fundamentals are so important, and that allows you to take those chances. So, yeah, big picture, I mean, it's hard to pin it on one thing or say that one playoff loss is exactly the same as something that happened 3 or 4 years earlier, but, sometimes when there is a change in the building, it gives a different focus. And I think, just the backdrop of everything, it's not like, Joe Brady has a honeymoon season coming. I mean, they expect to win now. So the pressure is on right from the start again, and we'll see how they respond.
Does that seem fair? Does it seem fair to you? To Brady? Like, I understand where the Bills are at in their timeline. It's really Allen's timeline. He's 8 years in. He's going into year 9 here, and they have had success. So, I mean, it all adds up. I understand why they wanted to make a change and try something different. But, man, a new guy with a whole new defensive scheme and – probably not every guy on that defense is like Jim Leonard's long-range vision. They're saddled with some guys, and they're going to try to make it work. It feels funny to me that they would be the AFC favorite to go to the Super Bowl because there's no grace period for a new coach.
Yeah, I think that no grace period, I think that's a good way to phrase it. I mean, whether you install them as the favorites or feel like the Chiefs or Ravens are on the same footing, or whether there's another team that can kind of rise up. Denver is obviously one that a lot of people felt like had they been at full strength in the AFC title game, had things been a little different, we might have seen them against the Seahawks and perhaps a better game. Who knows? So they got to, I think, throw them in there. And there is this slew of other teams that I think have a lot of good things going for them, but one thing kind of holding them back, maybe like the Houston Texans or something where, look, if their quarterback plays well, this could be a Super Bowl team. So, it's hard to know where everyone slots, but I think it's just the nature of what you said, the quarterback in his prime with so many near misses, right? It's not like, obviously last season, wasn't a success big picture, but, they've been so relatively consistently good throughout the years. Even the Ravens have had more down seasons, I think. So, it's just that's the nature of the business and the nature of being having a quarterback in his prime, and a quarterback that I think most people view as, if not the best, and certainly one of the top 3 in the league.
Eric Edholm now with Yahoo, our guest, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. I mean, we've been talking about this every day here, Eric, for many years now. It's been a while since it became sort of the new normal that the Bills were good after many years when they weren't. And it really can be a puzzle. Like, one thing you might want to do and this is what they did successfully, if they're sort of beating their heads against the wall in the end, is, all right, well, let's build a running game. Let's go lead the NFL in rushing like they did with James Cook last year. The year before that, he led the league, tied for the league lead in rushing touchdowns, like with Allen doing all the Allen things. And yet still, you get to the playoffs, especially last year, without Kansas City or Baltimore in it, or even Cincinnati, if you want, the team that beat them as well in the playoffs, and still they came up short. You said, a lot of us say this, we hear this a lot, the same thing, like, man, you kind of want to just see if Allen, when they're at their best, where he's doing more, like we went from taking stuff off his plate to maybe wanting to put more back on his plate, That could happen if their defense isn't good, right? That just would have to happen if in that case.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, if it takes a while, even, quarter season, half season, full season, whatever it may be, to where, that side of the ball is in, I don't want to say catch-up mode, but, if they're not coming close to holding up their end of the bargain and it all falls on Josh to win games, maybe that does unlock some sort of playmaking element to their offense where they say, we have no choice but to attack every single time. There's no sitting back, right? But like you said, last year, maybe some of this was dictated by, the options they had, the healthy options they had at receiver and tight end and everything. And, just pass catchers in general, I think you'd say, that James had to be a focal point of the offense. And they can do it. Obviously, the offensive line has great bones. That's as good a foundation as you'll find. Assuming there's no major injuries, they should be in good shape. And even with that, I think the depth is okay. So, 6 offensive linemen who have regular playing time, and that Allen and the run game are really your bedrocks. But there's a reason why they added to the receiver room. There's a reason why DJ Moore is there. I just don't think any receiver threatened opponents to the point where they had to dictate coverage in a certain way that gave Josh more favorable looks, and that's why you saw them lean on the run game at times, and why Allen would sometimes go to his second and third look and be pumping the ball and buying time. And obviously if there's a little bit more rhythm, Josh is still going to be the creator. He's still going to be somebody who can make something out of nothing. But if you have a higher percentage of plays that work as intended, then look, I think the whole operation is going to run a lot more smoothly. So, there probably is another level for this offense to unlock from where we saw last year, where it just sort of felt like there were too many wasted drives, too many drives where you felt like they could step on a team's neck or cut into a lead here and they just, it's another 3 and out or something. So, that's probably the one level up they can make offensively. And then defensively, it is really a big question. I think they have a chance to be decent, but the secondary does worry me a little bit, and we'll see how long CJ's out, and what do they have at corner besides Benford? That's still a lingering question. I think the D-line depth should be okay, but they can't afford too many injuries up front, and then you have some things I think to sort out at linebacker, but that looks okay to me.
You mentioned having a pass catcher there a moment ago that can dictate coverage, stress a defense. DJ Moore is the big ad there. Where are you at on that? How impactful do you think DJ Moore can be for the Bills?
Yeah, a really good player. Obviously, Joe has familiarity with him, and they know what he can do. He's an inside-outside threat. It was interesting. I'm based in Chicago here, and I got to see up close, the emergence of that Bears offense last year. And, it was clear that his role wasn't going to be that high-volume role that we had seen him in the past, right, where it felt like, Caleb's rookie year, even before that, where, we went out and got this guy. We're gonna get him the ball every single way we possibly can. Didn't always work out, but they were gonna force feed him, so to speak. But last year that changed a little, and it's not like at age 29 or last year 28 he was suddenly losing a step. But I think they had so many options, and Ben wanted to be so multiple in Chicago that naturally his targets reduced a little bit, but. I think the tape is still good, still made several big clutch catches, still was kind of the alpha in that receiver room last year. I think he can play the same role in Buffalo. Khalil is obviously a talented guy who has his role kind of down pat a little bit. I think he's gonna be the reliable, factor on when DJ's doubled on third downs and things like that. So he can still do his damage. And then if you think Keon Coleman can unlock something that hasn't been there to this point, we've seen flashes. Maybe there's another dimension there too. So, I was at a that Bills-Bears training camp practice a year ago and thought Keon had a great practice and was like, wow, I'm excited to see what he does this year. It obviously didn't go as planned. So who really knows? But there are receivers who do break out in year 3. So it's still – that hope is not unfounded. So, DJ, I believe, will have a little bit more work consistently this year. But there was also something to be said for when Josh had multiple options. When he was force-feeding Steph for all those years, it really worked at times, but there were times when you could see the limitations too. So there's a fine line there. And I think he's still enough in the prime of his career where, DJ could play a prominent role, if not a true number one type role.
With Eric Edholm of Yahoo, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. So we, being a radio show, do power rankings every week, Eric. Yeah. How about that, right? We think we came up with something big with this concept.
We do them in reverse, though.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Just try to make it a little bit different. And It's pretty easy picking out the also-rans, the likely dregs of the conference. The AFC's had some really bad teams of late. But then you get to 1 to 9, And every week it seems like we're just sort of blindfolded, throwing darts at what the order should be. We end up with Denver at number 1, and I don't know. Like everybody says their roster is so good, but Bo Nix in a conference where the quarterbacks have really reigned. So I don't know, like how many good teams are there? How do you analyze the AFC now as we've gotten a little bit, not all the way, but we had the Mahomes down year in the injury, and we had Baltimore miss, and then the Bills lost anyway. Is it more wide open than we've seen, probably?
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that those 3 teams bounce back, too. That's the other factor. I mean, like, again, obviously the Bills had a good season last year. You can't say that they were terrible or anything like that. But, comparatively, obviously Baltimore and cost John Harbaugh his job. There's a new coaching staff there. Lamar hasn't gotten his contract yet, so there's still a little bit of tension in the air there, I think. And, Cincinnati, boy, if they can't make it happen this year, you wonder if there's not a change of some sort. I don't know if it's just coaching or if there are other moves involved too, but the Chiefs, Mahomes is coming off the injury. The training camp videos look great and everything, but we won't really know. We won't know until we're probably a month into the season just how good he can be. He may be great to start, and then that Achilles starts acting up, or there's other issues going on. So, yeah, I mean, I happen to think those 3 teams in the Bills are all going to be on the stronger side this year in general. Denver, as you mentioned, you got to sort of throw them in there. We always gloss over the Patriots this time of year now because I guess a lot of people feel like, myself included, that last year's Super Bowl run was highly unexpected, not the kind of thing that anybody had on their bingo card last year. But, regression, sure. I don't think they're going to fall all of a sudden either. I think you at least have to give them some respect. Mike Vrabel's done some pretty good things there, and they have a young, talented quarterback who can get some things done. So I'd put them a little bit more on the outskirts. The Chargers are one of those teams like the Texans I mentioned a minute ago where, you could make a case for them being one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the AFC, or you could make a case for one of the 3 or 4 overrated teams. So, there's just a lot of middle to upper middle class teams on that side of the ledger where, if 1 or 2 things go right, hey, maybe we are looking at a Patriots-like season from 2025. Or if 1 or 2 things go wrong, one of those teams that had high expectations but flopped. So, not to dance around the question, but I'm in the same boat. Thankfully, my colleague Frank Schwab, I spent the last 4 years doing power rankings at NFL and, dodging all the hate mail I was getting and stuff like that. So Frank's had this thing on lockdown for over a decade. That's his role now, and I can turn it over to him and let him, dodge arrows for the rest of his life.
Wait, are you basically telling us right now here live on the air that you don't actually hate all the teams?
Well, I do. Let's make sure you understand that, right? I do hate all 32 teams. Okay. I don't want to ruin my reputation, but yeah. No, it is funny, though, how, you put that team at 26. I have them at 20. Okay, we're really going to get bent out of shape over spots in August? Come on now. Yeah. So we get a little leeway.
You mentioned the potential for change in Cincinnati. If things don't, if they don't get on track and have, a division winning or at least a playoff year here, it feels to me like this doesn't have to mean anything, but I feel like the shouty shows in the last week or so have all kind of taken their turn at like Burrow's going to he's going to detonate the Carson Palmer plan here if things don't get right with the Bengals. And I don't know, do you give that any respect at all?
I think last season, there was those series of chats that Joe had with the media where, it almost felt like he knew more than they did, or was like, I'm in a good place. It's almost like people were left to kind of read his thoughts on where he was with Cincinnati and where he was with the team. And, for years they were known as the team that would not spend in free agency. What did they do after draft or before drafting Burrow? And then the next year too, they went out and spent big in free agency. I think, to their credit, they've changed their stripes a little bit in terms of going after some of the players and some of the contracts, the money that goes with it, that they wouldn't have touched pre-Joe. So there has been, some change there in terms of how the organization operates, but clearly hasn't been enough. Even getting to one Super Bowl and not winning it, coming within an eyelash of winning it. Since then, everything has been pretty disappointing. So it's been a while. Joe's been through the ringer. He's had some unfortunate early season or preseason injuries that have really kind of messed up his year and his path. It's been tough. It almost feels like it's, sort of swimming into the wave a little bit. So he's had a tough run, but I'm not ready to go out and say that he's going to force his way out of Cincinnati. Would it be shocking if he said that, he wants a change or something like that if things don't go well? No, but I also think he might have an opportunity to maybe pick the next head coach or, be involved in the process and help shape the roster a little bit. At his press conferences, he can seem downright miserable.
It's a little sad, maybe.
Not on the Cutler level necessarly, but just like maybe nobody's on. That's one of a kind right there.
For a guy who has the Star Wars sheets, you'd think he'd be a little bit, a little more relaxed or whatever, a little bit more, equanimous. Yeah.
Last thing, Eric, do you have a fun dark horse this year? Who are we all sleeping on?
Yeah, good question. I mean, there's some obvious other bounce back teams. I don't think Detroit would be considered a sleeper, but how about New Orleans? How about the Saints? I could see them leveling up this year. They kind of get forgotten a little bit. The NFC South isn't a marquee division right now. And, it felt like Panthers and Bucks were trying to give away the South a year ago. And, Carolina obviously has got some injuries. Tampa Bay, I think Todd's probably feeling some pressure down there after a disappointing year. Mike Evans left. There's two big contract disputes right now with Baker and Vita Vea. So, pretty good environment. Obviously, Atlanta, their quarterback situation is a little fuzzy right now, but it feels like Tua. And they've had some injuries too. So coming off a season which they were 4-9 entering December. So, just looking on the outside, I think they've got a pretty good spot to win. And then the Saints played some of their best ball down the stretch with Tyler Shuck. So, I'm encouraged by that offense and what Kellen Moore can do to keep building that. Defensively, they may be a little thin, but I think their starting unit is maybe better than some people think. So that's one that I've been kind of eyeballing. I think they might play a little better football than some people realize.
I like it. Eric, it's been a while. Thanks so much for giving us your time today, and we'll try to keep in touch.
All right. Won't get fooled again. See you guys.
Thank you. Fool me once. Can't get fooled again.
Shame on. Yeah, right.
Love that.
It's funny that we had the Who. Zach, did you play that open knowing that the former president was going to reference Won't Get Fooled Again, and that Eric and I had this thing about the Who as we talked about it yesterday?
100%.
That's good producing right there.
Did that happen today?
Yeah. That open played where former President Bush says, fool me once, it gets all tangled up, and it says, won't get fooled again.
I thought it was me talking about building a toy.
And then Eric, when did 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, right. I take back the compliment.
I'm sorry for talking.
No, you're right. Yeah, because we talked about the toy thing.
Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, all right.
Not really my strong suit.
Well, I wanted the synergy of that Who Open. It's not a Who Open. It's a President Bush Open, I guess. But
President Bush Open.
Yeah. Anyway,
his name came up. My wife and son went to see SMU. And I guess he's a big presence there in Dallas at SMU. Yeah. And I told someone else this, and they're like, yeah, he's known for the sort of showing up in classes.
Really?
Yeah, goes to games and shows up in classes. And apparently the place is amazing, SMU, Southern Methodist. And my son got a tour. My wife was on the tour as well. And the tour guide mentioned that something like 75% of graduates leave with no debt. And I said to my wife, they're not taking out loans, these kids. These kids are the president hangs out there, Jerry Jones. I'm pretty sure most of the student body is not taking out tens of thousands of dollars in loans at SMU. I think they're probably, how much is it? Okay, here. And then they leave, and of course they don't know anything. But it's a good stat. I told my son yesterday, why don't you just go to SMU? You won't have to pay.
Right.
You'll leave and you won't even owe any money. It sounds perfect. as dad, it sounds great to me.
Right? Yeah. No, you're always looking for a way around. Yeah.
Just how much is it? Just write the check right up front. Here's the whole thing, $250,000. There you go. I'll just write that check. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. This is WGR.
Off day today for the Buffalo Bills, though they will be back on the practice field tomorrow, Friday, and on Saturday, where they'll be at the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. For more, though, in the last couple of days, Sal Capaccio does have a piece up at our website, WGR550.com, and coverage of training camp on WGR is presented by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs has found his new home. He signs with Washington, a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. And last year, the 32-year-old spent his time with the New England Patriots, where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. In baseball, or some early afternoon action, the Bisons, they win in comeback fashion. They score 5 runs in the ninth to win 7-6. Also in action currently going on, the Blue Jays are at Houston. That one is tied 3-3 in the eighth. The Mets are at Cleveland at 6:40, while the Yankees, they host the Cardinals at 7:05. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
DJ, I believe, will have a little bit more work consistently this year. But there was also something to be said for when Josh had multiple options. You know, when he was force-feeding Steph for all those years, it really worked at times, but there were times when you could see the limitations too. So there's a fine line there. And I think he's still enough in the prime of his career where, you know, DJ could play a prominent role, if not a true number one type role.
Eric Edholm. Before we get to calls, 5 in the ninth. That sounds like a game that the Bisons won when trailing after 8.
I believe that's right.
Maybe trailing by 4.
I saw them at least down 6-4 because I saw a game-tying single by Charles McAdoo in the ninth, and I think that was preceded by another two RBI hit. So I think you're right. I think they were down 4.
Where are you following this?
I just saw tweets. I follow the Bisons on Twitter, so I saw highlights as we were talking to Eric. And
I believe it would be their second win of the season when trailing after 8 innings.
All right.
A lot of their games don't go 8 innings. They're 7-inning games, double headers.
Yeah.
So, all right, good for them. Probably exciting out there.
That'd be
hot today.
Hell of a nice day.
It's hot.
Hot, sure, yeah.
It's August.
I was very,
should be hot.
You know, I thought at some point during yesterday's show, I think we had to correct the show. Like, they're home, right? They're home. They were home today. They were home last night. And I thought about going. And today. I didn't know. No, I thought about going right from here and running down there.
Oh.
And I didn't even, it was just such a nice night. I thought, like, what is my wife's reaction? We get out of work similar enough time now. We're working more, well, she goes to work at 4 in the morning. So, I mean, I don't want to say similar schedules, but whatever. Our leave time is close to the same. And like, what is her reaction about that? I'm just going down to the ballpark. Meet me at the ticket office. I'm going to go have a couple hot dogs and a couple of beers and watch a ball game. I didn't know it was Polish Heritage Night. I missed out. There was a polka band and everything. I was so
You would have, had you known?
It might have nudged me further, like to even have the thought. Because like a lot of seasons, this happens a lot this time of the year. It's like, how many homestands are left? I haven't been to a game yet. I mean, so I had the thought, and I think if I'd known it was Polish Heritage Night, it might have put me over the line to go. But I didn't, and then I got home, and I took my shoes off, and all bets are off.
Yeah, once the shoes are off, that's it.
There's
no putting the shoes back on.
Not doing that twice in one day. No, sir.
The shoes for me they're strategic. So I keep I like to have my shoes on when I'm going up and down from the basement. Like my podcast last night is in the basement, so I'm never in the basement with bare feet. I don't know for whatever reason. So I often though, without that, I'll keep my shoes. It's like sort of ingrained in me. I keep my shoes on throughout the evening until I need them to remove them so that my dog gets distracted from whatever she's doing, barking, if she's doing something and I need to break it.
She will enjoy your shoes
as soon as she hears me starting to take my shoes off, she makes a beeline for them and sticks her head, which entirely fits, into my shoe and just licks for like a good 5 minutes, and then the other one.
There's no damage.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really look in there.
She's not chewing anything. She's licking.
I guess.
I mean, that could increase wear and tear, I suppose.
When I put them on, they feel like they feel when I put them on.
Okay, they don't feel wet or squishy from her licking?
No, I won't put them on until the next day.
Okay, I see.
Once they're off, they're off.
There's a drying stage. I understand.
There's an overnight drying stage.
Right.
Yes. But, like, what? I don't know what it is.
nice.
My wife says it's nobody else in the house. It's just me.
It's nice that you have a mechanism in place to stop her from doing something you don't want her to do.
That isn't food.
Right. Or like a hose. You know, like like Fred at the fence can be pretty obnoxious. He's harmless, but you don't know that if you don't know him or whatever. He's barking and jumping. He's excited. Like there's another dog. I want to play with you, right? And if it doesn't happen a lot. I mean, I run a sprinkler, but if I automatic, like cool down, buddy, like he's done.
You'll spray him.
I'll spray him. That's tried and true. That works every time. But it's not. I'm not out there holding a hose very often. I just know that times that I have been, I know that it's effective.
I mean, if I say cheese, she's going to stop doing whatever she's doing and wait and sit in front of me until I give her cheese.
I mean, I don't think you've gone
those
above and beyond here, but I think you've done some pretty solid training there.
Yeah, except you just have to give her cheese all the time or your shoes. Otherwise, better if I just said like, "Come here," and then she would. We're not that good.
Or stop it, or some other code word, and then she would stop. Yeah.
We're not that good.
No.
Anthony is next. Hello.
How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for calling us.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you taking my call. I just want to touch in just give me a couple seconds to talk real quickly on the Vita Vea. I know that you guys brought it up last week. I tried to get in. But I remember the conversation because I typed it and I had a little document, and I just want to get it out to you guys. But I was putting it in there. I said, I can't believe some people would prefer the drought over the 13 seconds almost Super Bowl that we were about to go to.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And then I was like, hello, remember when the Bills were selling tickets 2 for $45 at the NOCO gas station before they weren't going to get blacked out on TV? So when you have a franchise QB that is a high caliber like Josh Allen, you're not going to get blacked out. And can you name me one that possibly could have in the past?
The rules are different now. It's just
100%.
It's just no. I mean, it's just the blackout rule is gone, isn't it? Like
okay.
I think the games are just on. There's no sweating 1 o'clock on Thursday anymore for whether it's going to be make it to that. Like that changed, I think, in the league.
Yes, no longer a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't look into to see if it was changed, but I was just correlating on that. When we never had a franchise QB. I mean, look at E.J. Manuel and et cetera. But my comment today was just on Vita Vea, and I was just wondering the little money that the Bills have to sacrifice for trading for a type of nose tackle like that. I mean, yes, the Bills have never traded for a nose tackle ever really in the history. They've only drafted, and that was Deion Walker, and he's pretty much, I think, in my opinion, going to be a solid player in the NFL. But going upon it, do you think the Bills would allocate the little free money that they have for a monster player that would just absolutely stuff the run game? I don't know. I'm just kind of.
I don't. And if you're referencing, what was said last week when it came up, I'm almost fatigued by the pondering of that move. A move of that magnitude. Because, the Bills are this level of contender, and in the case of Vita Vea, their scheme switch, they're a great fit. I mean, Steve Palazzolo, other analysts have all said, like, as soon as he demanded a trade, like Buffalo. I just don't think they're equipped. I don't think they're gonna sacrifice futures. It's not been Brandon Beane's MO. So every big name that comes up, pass rushers, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, come on. I don't think they're swimming in that deep end. I just don't. I mean, they made the Moore trade and they gave up significant assets there, but that was not like mortgaging the future. I mean, they gave up a second and we didn't even like that price. I just don't think they're in that. I don't think they're in the game for that. I think they're more conservative.
You're saying the pondering has become ponderous.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I understand that there's a fit. This is a player that wants out. I gotta at some point maybe do something dramatic instead of just continuing to knock on the door. Like, make sure I'm armed and dangerous when I knock on the door, and go get a couple of dudes that can really impact that. I think Vita Vea would be one of those for a year. But what are you doing? Like, his age, he wants to be paid what the top guys are getting at that position. So you could make it work for a year, but then you're biting off probably 3 years that you might regret soon. So I don't even love the idea, but for a year, if you wanted to talk me into, trade a 1 and something else, or 2 1s or something, which, I don't know, with a player like this at his age that's demanding and he wants a contract, it probably isn't even that pricey. It's a question of whether you want to invest $30 million a year in this player moving forward.
I don't.
Is what the question becomes.
Yeah, when the caller said, the Bills have never traded for a nose tackle this good, I'm like, thank God. It's not that the position is unimportant, but no thanks. Thanks, Anthony. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog back after this timeout here on WGR. now at 716-221-4WGR. That's 4947. Wins a $50 gift card to Connor's Restaurant on Seneca Street in West Seneca. It is Beef on Weck Wednesday in here. Every Wednesday, score 4 Connor's Beef on Weck meals for just $55 or 1 for $15 because Connor's is better. Did you see it was through Ian Hartitz, and I retweeted it last night. The fantasy football last place punishment video.
I did the golfer.
It's so good.
I didn't listen. And I saw that you retweeted it, and I figured you probably did listen to it.
I did.
What does he say when he gets there? How often do the guys, he's playing with strangers, we should explain it.
Yes.
This guy lost his fantasy football draft, and the punishment was he had to go to a local golf course and play golf with strangers, and he had to pretend to play. He basically teed up no ball.
He had to play without a ball.
And then took and just okay, 250 down the middle. Okay, that's an 8-iron. And just played an entire round of golf with total strangers.
9, I think.
Okay. But he was not allowed to explain to them what he was doing.
Yeah, it was not, 60 minutes. It was not a 2020. One of these. There was no moment in the video where the other people were asking him or each other, what is going on?
What are you
here?
doing?
Yeah. They just, I don't know what kind. At the end, he says they were good sports.
Yeah.
So they recognized that he was actually not hitting a golf ball once, the whole 9 holes. But no, I don't remember seeing any sort of confrontation about it.
Right.
But it was fun to listen to it because the guy was funny. The guy playing was funny. Oh, I'm just going to, made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a great round.
Yeah. I think I saw one. I did turn the audio up at one point. I think I saw this in bed. My wife was asleep, and I didn't want to play anything too loudly. But I thought I heard, am I good there?
Yeah, pick it up. Yeah.
Can I pick it up? This is no ball.
Right. No ball.
That's really funny. Yeah. That was good.
My favorite one of those ever is still having to take the SAT if you finish last. Because, you don't want to have to take the SAT. Those days are over.
Uh-huh.
But knowing myself, I would care about how I did. I would not just sign my name and leave or something.
Right.
I would want to do well, which would mean, at my age, studying everything all over again, because I probably have forgotten everything that was on the SAT. So I'm not in any league where there's punishments. But I love that one. I heard that one a long time ago on the radio and have never forgotten about it. And there's ones where you have to wear a sign.
Right, or go
I'm terrible at fantasy
or go to the
football.
breakfast place and eat eat a waffle an hour or something or whatever.
The Waffle House one.
Waffle House one is right.
That's torture.
Yeah.
That one was you have 24 hours you're in a Waffle House, but you can eliminate 1 hour for each waffle you eat.
Right. That's it. Yes.
And there was a guy who did that and wrote about it, and it was just you could feel the pain and the sickness, and he was throwing up in the bushes. Yeah. I guess he was allowed to leave the building to do that.
Okay.
That,
That's a tough one
you
there.
might be able to eat 10, but you're still in there for 14 hours anyway. Right. That was pretty tough, the waffle one. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, 803-0550, feeling the new stadium as the old one has been taken down. We'll talk about it some more here next on WGR.
Off day today for the Buffalo Bills, but they'll be right back at it on the practice field tomorrow, Friday, and on Saturday, where they'll be at the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. For more, though, on the last couple of days, Sal Capaccio has a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. And coverage of training camp on WGR, that is presented by Fico Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8 million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs, he has found his new home. He is signing with Washington on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. And last year, Diggs spent the season with the New England Patriots where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. We also got some lineup news today for the Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. That is third overall pick, running back Jeremiah Love is not going to play tomorrow for Arizona. While in baseball, we had some early afternoon action for the Bisons. It was a comeback win. The Bisons score 5 in the 9th to win that one 7-6. Also in action, the Blue Jays are at Houston. That one is in the bottom of the 10th. The Jays, though, are up 5-3 in that one. Mets are at Cleveland at 6:40, while the Yankees, they host the Cardinals at 7:05. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart.
Where'd you get that thing? I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
I made a list of my 5 favorite visits to the stadium. I made a top 5.
All right.
I have to rank them still. Can we just do that?
Sure.
Can you help me do that?
Yeah, I'll help you do that.
Help me decide what I feel about these 5 games.
Wrong!
Well, I put the first game I ever went to on there, even though I barely remember anything. The 1979 opener.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great. Yeah. No, it's not. Wrong year. But yeah, okay. I was thinking that's an all-time great, but it was the next year.
80?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was not at that game.
Yeah.
I was at another game in 80 that is a consideration. Honorable mention.
All right.
Do you have a list like this? Do you think you could think of a list like this? Would you want to? Top 5?
Top 5. 2 of them would probably be concerts, and then the hockey game.
That counts.
And then I guess I would say seeing this game with my son last time in the stadium would be on the list, and then another Miami game that I went to with my buddy Steve, the Ricky Williams, Peerless Price, Jim Kelly with the Flask game.
That was a great season. There's a game from that year that's on my list.
It was a great, one of the best times I ever had at the stadium was that day.
I love that you can put concerts on there. I mean, you're old enough to remember the stadium as a place that actually literally had anything else there but Bills games. Michael Jackson was the big one when I was a kid. I didn't go to that. A couple of friends of mine did.
Yeah.
On the Thriller tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
79 opener, I'm there with my parents' friends. Not my parents. I'm 7. Somehow that wasn't weird.
Okay.
My parents' friends, who the man in the relationship was my doctor. So I went with my doctor and his wife. They were friends of my parents.
Right. You've said this before, and I'm going to ask the same question I asked then. There wasn't a kid?
No kid. Me.
Just you.
3 of us.
With them.
With them. Somewhere around midfield on the lower level.
That's weird. Yeah.
In a pouring rainstorm all day. With the ponchos, the garbage bags, whatever we had. Right. Just like something. Just rained the whole day.
Yeah.
The Bills lose this game 9-7, fittingly.
What did you have to eat or drink?
No idea. What was there to eat or drink?
A hot chocolate, I'm going to guess. You got a hot chocolate.
Maybe. My dad had a friend. We went to another game when I was really young. I think it was a preseason game, and he had a thermos.
All right.
That I was not allowed to touch.
Spiked hot chocolate.
Or cider.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, not on this occasion. I'm sure this couple I was with were not drinking.
Yeah.
And they lost on the Dempsey miss in the rain. They were about to beat the Dolphins. They were set up to finally do it. Oh, for the 70s. This was still the 70s. They were set up to finally do it, and he missed. And that was it. Their only touchdown in this game was a Charlie Rome's block kick return or something. Like, the Bills did nothing, but they still almost won. My first game. 1979. One of the top 5. We'll have to rank these.
Okay.
Maybe, I can do this on my own time if you choose,
Mike,
if you say so.
Mike, my time is your time.
Chronological order. This one didn't quite make it, but 1980, with my mom and our neighbors, my friend and his mom, 4 of us.
Right. So that's more suitable
2 moms,
grouping there. Yeah.
2 little kids in the end zone for a late afternoon December game against the Rams.
Oh, this is the kick line game.
Yes.
Isaiah Robertson and Phil Villapiano and other grizzled veterans.
Shane Nelson.
Chuck Knox, and they came out. I have still a scrapbook with black and white photos of Bills players, Isaiah Robertson front and center with a cigar, like arms around each other in like a Rockettes kick line thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We were long gone by then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we might have stayed for the whole game. Again, it was like a 4:00 game,
Yeah.
the Rams. And the Bills won in overtime, 10-7. And I remember really nothing. Like, I can't see that day.
Yeah.
I feel like I can see the 79 game, but I can't really see the 80 game. I just know we were sort of low in the end zone. And that's not a great seat.
Yeah, no.
And Vin Scully did the play-by-play.
Which you, of course, wouldn't have heard because you were in the game, in the stadium.
I wouldn't have known who he was
Right.
in 1980.
Right.
But I just think that's awesome, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's back when he was doing football for CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And how that ended, by the way, was Summerall and Madden, they basically wanted to find, when Madden sort of joined CBS and they realized right away that he was really good. So they wanted to find a partner for him. And what they did was they gave Summerall 5 games, maybe it was. Like, they gave him a handful of games with Madden, and they gave Vince Scully a handful of games with Madden. Like, the same number. And they just basically were auditioning for Madden. And Summerall won. And apparently Scully was, like, irate that he wasn't chosen for that. And he quit. And then he went to NBC to do baseball. That was the end of 81, maybe that was. 81, because 81 is the catch.
Is this from this recall?
The book.
Is the book. Okay. A book podcast. You listened to the book probably.
We had the author on.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Summerall and Madden.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Scully did the NFC Championship. The catch is him, not Summerall and Madden, not because they were still trying to figure that out. It's because Madden wouldn't fly. So the previous round game was in San Francisco, and the Super Bowl was in Detroit. And so they just left. Madden just left.
Right.
And Summerall just thought it wasn't right to do the game without him.
Right.
So it's Scully and I think Hank Stram on that one. Anyway, Rams, 1980.
Yep.
I got to put the game on where I was on the field.
Sure.
Fandemonium.
Yeah.
That's got to be. All these games are low scoring.
Right.
9-7, 10-7, 9-6 are these 3 games so far.
Yeah.
They're softball scores.
Being on the field for the birth of Fandemonium that should be on the list no matter what. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a great thing to have on the resume.
So I'm 16 or 17 now, and that game is pretty clear in my mind. And what was great about it was the Bills were several games ahead in the standings. And they were probably pretty good favorites to beat the Jets. But if they didn't, there was a net. There was the net. That's what I would end up taking home is the field goal net. No, I mean, they had a big lead, so it wasn't all or nothing. Like the playoff,
right.
90 playoffs against Miami in the snow, I was there. I wouldn't put that on my list because I think I was just too nervous. Like, what if they lose?
Right.
Oh, no, this will be terrible.
Yeah.
Like, now I sort of shy away from that kind of, although, going to Sabres games brought that back a little bit. I didn't go to Game 7, though. I didn't want to see him get eliminated. I went to that game with you. None of the games I went to were they out if they lost.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 88 Jets. My friends, there were 8 of us maybe, and we all just stormed the field after the Bills won in overtime again, Norwood. And I had like a Halloween mask on, and I'm ripping this net away from this other guy and got this huge piece of net, stuffed it into my pants probably, and made for the car. That one. On the occasion, the stadium is like in rubble now. It's rubble. It's gone. I want to put the Randall Cunningham, Fred Barnett play game on my list.
Okay.
90 Eagles. Bills win this one. This was not a low-scoring game.
No.
And they got way ahead. That happened. I'm in the end zone on the opposite end of the field from Cunningham.
So you can't really see Bruce Smith doing what he almost did in the end zone and Cunningham escaping, but you see the ball in the air for sure.
I saw the play.
Yeah.
And, couldn't really tell what was going on in the end zone, the pass rush. But the Bills might have gotten up 24-0. And the Eagles were maybe starting to make a little bit of a comeback, and then that play happened. And, that was just sort of...
End of the first half, right?
Near the end of the first half, I think. And there's a certain noise in the stadium when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody's just sort of like...
Right, because you go from comfortable lead, half almost over, they're pinned at their own, yard line. I don't remember how long that pass actually goes for, but he's scrambling around the end zone.
90.
And so, you feel, and then suddenly there's, 6, 7 points on the board. Whoa. Yeah, that is a certain kind of sound.
Yeah, like everybody was kind of shocked.
Stunned.
By the play.
Right.
And, Philadelphia was good. So it wasn't like the playing the Colts or something like that.
It wasn't a walkover. No, right.
They were good.
Yeah.
They went into that game 7-4, and the Bills were 9-2. So it was the sun was out. That's a December game, but the sun was out for that game, which that helps. And 2002, this is special to me because it was my first year with season tickets. I worked here. This was my first year working here, I believe. And I had a girlfriend who also worked here, and she and I went to games together. And we were on the sun side, right? Do we have a sun side anymore? That's gone, right? This is all special and wind stuff and all kinds of different science that's going to...
I don't know.
Is there even a sun side? Yeah. But, when I had a chance, when I was buying tickets, where do you want to be? Like, I want to be in the sun. And the fact that it was the visitor side, I didn't care. Like, I just wanted to not freeze. And the Oakland game from that year, that was like a huge shootout game that the Bills could not stop anything from the Raiders. 48-34 or some score like that, maybe. Charlie Garner.
Right.
Yes. But the Bills stayed in it. Lots of big plays. And I just remember I had so much fun with her. And, I felt, strong like bull. I felt like I've got tickets. I've kind of made it. I'm at a Bills game. I work at GR. Like all of that, to me, sort of came to a head that day. That season, you mentioned Miami that year.
Yep.
There was a Charger game that was good.
The Jet opener
Detroit.
was incredible.
The opener was a great
loss,
day.
But it was great.
Yep. There were lots of memorable games that year. Yeah. New England, 4th and stupid, right? That was how that one was remembered.
I think I was with your friend John McEntee for 4th and stupid.
How is that possible?
I think he was in your seat. I think we had not your season tickets, but seats through work. I don't.
Really?
He was there.
Wow.
I'm almost sure that was him. I've met him another time or two.
My wedding.
And I'm pretty sure that it was him. But I left early. I don't know. 4th and stupid is when I left, I think. But that was also that year it's a good year to remind me of because I probably went to more games that year than in totality for the rest of the life of the stadium. like for Bills games.
Mm-hmm.
Again, concerts are a whole different thing, and the hockey game. But I was at the Colt game that year. I was at the Jet game that year. I was at 4th and Stupid that year. I was at the Miami game that year. And really, if I could think of one more that I was at, I probably was. Maybe I was at all of them. I don't know. That would be more than the rest of the games I ever went to. So I went to a game in 73 with my dad and my older sister. And my dad almost, it felt to me, I was a little kid, but I felt like he almost got in a fight with a drunk guy sitting in front of us. And then I went to one game, like high school age, like a Thursday night Minnesota game.
Oh, yeah.
And honest to God, that is it for a long time for me. I mean, really, it might be the Raider game that they lose in 93. Might be the next time I'm in there.
Regular season.
I went to see them play in Foxborough a couple of times in between, but I didn't go to the stadium. No, there's the opener in 90. I was at I'm forgetting.
90 opener.
The 90 opener. The debut. Yeah, that was it. I came home. I was living in Connecticut. I came home to visit and found out the game wasn't going to be on TV. And I said, Dad, come on. We got, and the only tickets we could get were family section. So we couldn't have beers in our seats. So my dad, this is a great family memory, is my dad and I barreling down to the concession stand during a TV timeout and just throwing back arena beers and then going back to the seats.
Isn't that what the family section is all about?
What are we
For
doing?
people who have to figure out clever ways to get booze. Right. That's really the spirit of the family section.
What a father-son moment for my dad.
Yes.
It was really nice.
So you were at 90 Colts.
90 Colts, yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched that game. I think that's the first game in the career of Chris Collinsworth in the booth.
Oh, wow.
For NBC.
No.
But I don't think I've ever watched it. It wasn't that interesting.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, it was the big drama was, the 89 season ended, the no huddle, and like they unveiled the no huddle offense. Really, like as a regular season, not in the 2-minute this is our offense.
This is us.
Yep. Yeah. So it's notable for that, I guess. But yeah, I don't remember really anything about the game. I could try to guess the score, but I don't even know if I'd be close.
Your task is to go out there early on Saturday and find this family section.
Right.
In the rocks. From the rock pile to the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is a rock pile.
Right, family circle or something. What are they?
I don't know.
They have something out front called it's family.
You mean the new place?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying the old place.
Okay.
I want you to go find where you sat.
I see. Okay.
And stand among the rocks. I'm sure you will not be allowed to.
It was back by the administration building. That corner is where that family section was.
That's what's still standing, right?
That administration building is still up, I believe.
Right, I think it gives you a better chance of finding the spot.
Find the spot. Yeah, right.
I'm quite sure you will not be allowed over there.
Dad and Pops Parker chugged beers here.
If it weren't in rubble, there'd be a sign. There could still be a chance at a sign. Mario is with us. Hello.
Hi, guys. Great conversation. I just triggered a little memory for me. So I was actually 5 years old, Mike, and I was at that Eagles game. I think we were sitting somewhere around the 50-yard line, but we had season tickets up in the corner. Anyway, I remember being 5 years old, and I had hot chocolate because, of course, it was a December game, and everyone stood up in front of me, and I spilled it on the entire row in front of me. So that was the memory for me of that. And Randall Cunningham, I've heard you talk about that story before, but just watching him running around and running for his life brought back a lot of memories. But I just wanted to share that. And also, I have two little girls now that I'm bringing to the Kids Day game, on coming up.
Next Saturday? Is that next Saturday afternoon?
Next Saturday, yeah. And at my wife's bridal shower for the first one, baby shower for the first one, they had mentioned, one of the trivia questions was, at what age would you bring your daughter would Mario bring his daughter to a football game? And all the attendees had to answer. And I said age 21. Well, he's going on 10, so I figured the new stadium.
Right, you correct.
I didn't bring them to the old stadium, but I'm going to bring them to the new stadium. So
very good.
That's all I wanted to share, guys.
Good for you. Appreciate you sharing all that. Yeah. So how are you going to stack these up?
It's really a question of like what matters. Like that 2002 is not an important game.
No,
it's
right.
a loss.
Right.
But it was just
How
such a
you
special
felt.
time.
Yeah.
And I just loved that day. I loved how I felt that day. Yeah, I'd put that first. As going as an adult, paying for the tickets and taking a date and just reveling in that. I would put that first, above any games I went to as a kid. Like somebody took me to games as a kid. I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure I wanted to go, but
yeah.
I wasn't in control of that.
Yeah.
So I would put 2002 first. I might just go in reverse chronological order, actually. I liked saying that I was at that 79 game, but I really don't remember very much about it. I'd have to look up anything that happened.
Right.
And same with 80. I just like sort of the trivia element of it.
Yeah.
But there are no particular memories. 88 was cool. I'm not exactly proud of myself for running on the field and wrestling the net away from somebody, but it was a free-for-all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should feel any shame at all about that, but that's me or you.
Let me put one more up because I might put this in the top 5. I also had a girlfriend for this game, a different woman. The 91 playoffs, Denver, Bailey. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That would be, I should have put that on the original list, Carlton Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nerve-wracking.
I'll bet, yeah.
Because that game is into the fourth quarter and it's scoreless.
Yeah, that was a slog. Yeah.
I just have a place in my heart for really low-scoring Bills games, I
I guess so, yeah, right.
That's
as much
a
as you
10-7
love
game.
offense, but yeah, right. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that one. I don't need the Rams game on it. It's just kind of interesting. 2002. Let's go 91 first. A game I left off the original list. 91 AFC Championship first for the Super Bowl. I mean, that crowd, that was a really special event. 02 for personal reasons. 79 just because. Randall Cunningham. The net. That's the list.
All right.
I'm not going to put the Winter Classic there. Like that, it's really a different list,
Yeah.
You could. We both said this was the best day we've ever had here.
I would, for me, for the stadium, not my Bills games, they're all just sort of, going with Owen last year is going to top the list because it's way better than 73 with my dad. No offense to my dad and my sister, but I don't remember really anything from the game other than what felt like violence, which, it was pretty upsetting to 8-year-old me. It's like that gets a hard time making any list. And the rest of it is all just sort of, they're not that memorable. David White. I was there for David White.
Yeah.
That was pretty big. I mean, they won the division that day. So that's got to be on the list for Bills games. But for me,
95 December.
The hockey game, the Who and the Clash, the Stones, the year before, outrank the football games to me because they're just one-offs. I never saw the original. Well, even that date.
Before I was 21, which is a big part of the story. I was there with my mother. We were in our seats. We were in the nicer section, the Ralph Wilson section. And I'm sitting there, don't remember the game, don't remember the score. We were probably losing because we were not that great at that. We were in between at that point. And a play happens or a penalty happens, and under my breath, not loud, I say SOB. Think nothing of it. Woman in front of me turns around and says, "Can you watch your language, please?"
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, so sorry. A minute later, the husband turns around and is like, there's no need for language like that at this game. And my mother goes, well, you're at a football game.
Yeah.
My mother being a long-time season ticket holder. About 5 minutes later, these people then just get up and leave, and we're just like, okay, whatever. Like, half the section is looking at us like, what are those people's problems?
Yeah.
5 minutes go by. and the yellow coats start walking down.
Oh boy, I saw this last year.
They go down past me. They go to the wrong row, and I go to my mom like, they're here for me. And sure as hell, walk up to me, sir. Can you come with us?
Hey, can you watch your language, please?
No, they're taking the guy.
No, he said.
Oh, right.
H-E double
good catch.
Hockey stick.
Yeah, we can't have that, Nick.
Yeah, terrible.
We're coming for you next.
So my mom's like, what is this about? And they're like, sir, and would you please come with us? And we're like, okay. And they start talking to us, and they're like, what did you say? And I told them, and they started laughing.
Right.
As this couple is 20 feet away staring daggers at all of us. And at that point, they're just like, okay, you can go back down to your seat.
Yeah. Did the other couple sit down?
Too many games. No, they left. They probably got better. They probably got 50-yard lines or something like that. You know, they got comped something.
Complaining. Yeah. Wow.
So the amount of games that I went to that I was not sober and never got into a fight, that's the closest thing I ever happened to me.
Yeah, life is weird like that.
A couple because I said something.
Yeah.
Really isn't even a swear.
Thank you, Nick. I witnessed something very similar to that last year at that New England game. I mentioned it the next day. There was a woman in front of my son and me, and she'd had it with the language around her, not from us, but nearby. And she called. I mean, they were there for a long time, the security. And my son heard one of the security guards say to the woman, "You know, you're at a Bills game, right?" Like, very similar story.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain line here that maybe wasn't crossed.
Yeah.
Especially in this caller's story.
Yeah, no, that caller's story is incredible. It's incredible.
Kind of
Okay, the woman didn't like the language. After that, for the husband, with nothing more, no more said, the husband has got to come in now on top. Like, okay, wow. Like, that kind of blows my mind.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. This is WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, I'm right. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your time. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. Roller coaster.
The Buffalo Bills, but they are back to work tomorrow, Friday, and then on Saturday as well, where they'll be in the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. But for more on the last couple of days, Sal Capaccio does have pieces up at our website, WGR550.com. And coverage of training camp on WGR is presented by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs has found his new home. He is signing with Washington on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. The 32-year-old did spend last season with New England, where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. Per the NFL Wire, Aaron Donald did work out today with the Rams. He had pads on and a helmet, but no word on if he is coming out of retirement just yet to join his former club. And then some early afternoon action in baseball does have some final scores. The Bisons, it's a comeback win for them. They score 5 in the ninth to win 7-6 over Norfolk. Blue Jays took down Houston 5-4 in extra innings, and then we got 2 games coming up later tonight. Mets at Cleveland at 6:40, and the Yankees, they host the Cardinals at 7:05. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
You know, we've been to Green Bay, and Titletown is a pretty good comp for the type of things we want. I mean, you want to tweak it and make sure it's specific to Buffalo, but, you know, when you talk about retail opportunities, mixed-use opportunities, Bills-related Hall of Fame, there's a number of things you can do. Again, not ready to commit to exactly what that would be, but, you know, look, we're seeing it now. There's people all over that property, and the only thing really open right now is the Highmark Trail. And people are there walking around, so when Family Circle opens up and the Highmark Trail is there, and people are going to want to tour the stadium, and the store is there's going to be a tremendous amount of activity, even with just that. So if we can expand upon it, I'm highly confident. And this has become a pilgrimage for people.
Bills boss Pete Gowelli. A clip from It's Always Game Day in Buffalo, is it?
Yes, correct.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for listening. No Sal today. The Bills are off. Yeah. We'll talk to Sal again tomorrow.
He's talking about the where the old stadium is, that footprint, what is going to become of that, and references Titletown in Green Bay, which I'm not familiar with. I mean, I've heard about it in addition to Pete talking about it there, but I've not visited it. I've also heard a lot about the Patriot Place around the stadium there in Foxborough.
I've been to the Packer one. The one thing that stands out about going to a game in Green Bay is that, picture this from being like out in Orchard Park. You walk from your seat out of the stadium and then like a block in one direction, you're in a neighborhood.
Right.
Like it's just the stadium is there. It's gotten a lot bigger since I was there. But I remember the time I was there parking and then walking through, like walking through Williamsville or something, it feels like, to get to Lambeau Field. And my girlfriend at the time was like, "Oh, that's Mike Holmgren's house," or something. Like, just it's so small.
Yeah.
And all the residential area of Green Bay, which is like the whole thing, is just right next to the stadium. I think that Hall of Fame is maybe within the stadium, the Packer.
Yeah, I think they have a big footprint outside now too.
Okay.
Like I think that's what he's talking about, which is like, yeah, right. That's its own little town now. I think kind of is what they're striving for. So I think the Bills are going to be like-minded. Like that, where the stadium was, the old stadium, is probably going to be some version of everything he just talked about.
And parking.
Yeah, I suppose. But I think they want a destination there. Like that means to me year-round restaurant, year-round retail. Even said mixed use. Like mixed use can be like residential too. Like we'll see about that.
It's a room for a golf course.
If they go there, I don't know.
Mini golf even.
But Highmark Trail too, by the way, I learned from watching this and listening to this podcast with Sal and Matt.
Look at you.
Is a 1.7. The distance stood out to me. It's a 1.7 mile trail around the stadium.
17?
Well, okay, I didn't know that. My brain went, the road I ride on or used to run on in Delaware Park is 1.8 miles, one loop. So this is 1.7 miles. It's close. And I guess there's interactive, or there's going to be. He said it's not all done yet, but there are, on the trail, there's interactive installations planned. And there will be like, telling the story of the stadiums or the Bills or both or what, but yeah, that's what Highmark Trail is.
I bet it's 1.8, but they call it 1.7 because of Josh Allen. That's my conspiracy theory. Tony is with us. Hello, Tony.
Hi. Got a quick story for you from 1984 when I was 19 years old.
Oh, the 84, 85 stories are the best. This is going to be good.
I don't know if this is the best, but I think it was the second consecutive two-win season. I went to the Browns game at home in the pouring rain. My buddy and I think the Bills were winning after the first quarter, so we went to the end zone. Seats were empty. We start doing a two-man wave in the pouring rain. The cameraman says, "Hey, keep doing that and I'll put you on TV." And we see the red light go on, so we keep doing it. And then halftime comes and some kids come over and they want to sit with us. And back then you could look down under the scoreboard and you could see people walking under the scoreboard there. And these guys started mocking some Browns fans. So within 10 minutes, security came and the guy says, "All right, a-holes, get out of here." And I said, "Who, us?" And he said, "I said a-holes, didn't I?" So we had to leave. So we drive all the way home to North Buffalo, and it's halftime of a Jets game. And Greg Gumbel is on there, and he says, "Oh, you got to see these two guys in Buffalo. They've been going at it all day." Again, we were kicked out at halftime.
Right.
So.
Yes.
So they showed us on TV, and I can't remember if it was him or that clip later ended up on Dick Clark's bloopers. One of the two called us the Ripple. And to this day, people tell me that is part of a NFL network commercial, but I've never seen it. You'll see two guys in the rain, one guy wearing one of those like French type shit hats, whatever it's called. And my buddy had a brown jacket on. I had a gray one on. It's just a two-man wave and water's just flinging off our arms because it was soaking wet out.
So good.
That's my story.
It's a very good story. That's a very good job.
Yeah, thanks. I hope you enjoy it, guys.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere over the years, but I'm not sure. I think I probably have.
I feel like I've seen the two-man wave in Bull Durham or Major League or something back when Cleveland's that's
these guys maybe invented it.
I feel like maybe they stole it. So the movie stole it from them.
Bryant Gumbel. That would have been like, late game, halftime. Sure, highlights. Very good. David is next. Hi, David.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. I don't get a chance to share this story very often, so I wanted to call in since everybody was sharing. And my family left Buffalo. I was 6 years old, 1983. We went to Florida. I was in college in Florida and just desperately wanted to see a Bills game. And in 2002, me and my buddy decided to drive from Gainesville, Florida, all the way up to Buffalo to see a Bills game. And we got there, we drove up, and it was a Friday or Thursday night. We went Friday to see a Sabres game, and we didn't have a lot of money. And I thought, he kept telling me to scalp tickets, and I was like, well, the radio guys are here. You know, they set up a remote. Let's go see if they have anything. And we went, we told them our story. We drove up all the way from Florida just to see the game, wanted to see if you guys had any tickets, and kind of looked at each other, handed us an envelope. And we didn't really even look at it. We just were so thankful and walked in, got to the correct section, and there was an usher there, an older African-American gentleman. I can't remember his name, and he took the tickets, he looked at them, started like kind of guiding us down and down and down, and next thing we know, it was row 2, and we had gotten these tickets in row 2, and the gentleman started talking to us, and we had nosebleed seats for the Bills game, terrible seats, and it was December, and the gentleman said to us, he said, hey, you know, I work the Paul McGuire suite also, come see me. And we thought, you know, that's just what people say, just bluster, whatever. And but time comes and we go to the Bills game and we are freezing. And we are, you know, coming from Florida, we are dying. And we are like, what do we have to lose? End of the first quarter, we leave our seats. We start to go find the Paul McGuire suite. And as we're approaching, the door opens and the same gentleman opens the door, remembers our names, welcomes us in, and for the rest of the game, we got to sit in heated seats and eat food and enjoy the rest of our time there. And it was quite the weekend for us coming from college and going all the way up there. It was pretty cool.
That's a pretty good tip, I bet, right there. That guy earned a pretty good tip. I don't know how much you had to give him, but that's above and beyond.
I don't know if we gave him much of a tip, but it was great conversation, and he was just a really great guy, and I wish I remembered his name, but I can't. And it was just such a great experience, and just wanted to share that story with you guys.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Reminds me of going to Shea Stadium with my friend when I was 18.
Right.
And we wanted to see the stadium before we got to our seats way up high at Shea, and like the mezzanine level. So we just peeked in, and it's New York. There's a guy. Where are you guys sitting? Section 9,000.
Right.
You want to sit here all week? You're here all weekend?
Closer to the airplanes than I am to the field.
Pretty much. You want to sit here all weekend? $20 a guy. Okay. We never even went up there.
Right.
All 3 days. We never even went up to the top.
That's the best.
$20? All right, here you go. And he had to move us around. He thought he knew who wasn't coming. And so he was mostly right. But a couple times, like, all right, I need you guys over here. Like, he had to move us because the real seat holders were actually there. I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's okay. We allowed it.
Those moments when you end up in seats before the internet. I mean, I remember every January, after I moved back from Connecticut, there were 2 years where I planned trips to go see the Red Sox. And my buddy Harris, who lives in Guilford, Connecticut, or excuse me, Madison, whatever. He's on the shoreline in Connecticut. We're still good friends to this day. And I would go grab him, and then we'd go to Boston, and sleep on friends' couches or whatever. Very sort of like this guy at college. Not a lot of cash in our pockets, right? But I would like call the Red Sox ticket office the day the tickets went on sale, and like, all right, I want to order these 2 games, the best seats you got, whatever, and they mail them to you. There's no way to go online and check the seating chart, right? One of these times we went to see the A's play Labor Day weekend. We walked in and found our way to the section, and the usher took us down, and we were like 2 rows behind the A's dugout.
Mm-hmm.
And like Canseco and McGuire are standing there in the on deck circle. Like, it's before the game. And we're like walking, we're just down, 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 down. Like, we cannot believe, like, we're grabbing each other's arms as we're walking down. We cannot believe that this is happening. And then we sat down and just watched this. It was incredible.
So good. Now I grab your arm so I don't fall.
Right. Or I yours.
Thanks again, David. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back. Caller 5 at 716-221-4WGR. That's 4947. Wins a pair of tickets to see Jeff Foxworthy August 19th at the Erie County Fair Grandstand, courtesy of the Erie County Fair. Tickets on sale now at ecfair.org. Fair. Fair. I mean, you could get that wrong. I wouldn't want anybody to get that wrong.
You shouldn't get that wrong.
No. Here's Ryan with us. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, fellas. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Good. You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, so I have a pretty cool story from last year. My buddy and I went to that final game in the regular season. And, they had all the nice festivities. They started, eventually started ushering people out of the seats. We were in the lower bowl at that time. And, they got pretty not aggressive, but, really like, hey, you got to leave, you got to leave. So we're heading out, and we're like, let's just go up the 300 ramp real quick. So we kind of go up there, and there was nobody out there. It was like ghost town, no fans, no ushers, nobody. So we just sat down the seats up there. We were watching all the festivities on the field, and eventually after, I don't know, maybe an hour, like that all cleared out, so there was no one on the field, and then it was just the cleaning crew across the way in the 300 cleaning up. So we sat there expecting someone to come out, but no one came out. My buddy has a pretty popular social media account that, a ton of Buffalo followers, follow him. And he caught wind that, he's texting us, he caught wind that we were still in the stadium. So he ended up doing a live feed on his page. So all these people started following and commenting on his posts, like kind of telling us, hey, go down this hallway, go to the men's room. So that was kind of cool. So we're in the men's room. He's got us on video. I like to think that we were the last two guys to pee in the trough or whatnot. But so eventually they're like, go on the field. And, that's kind of where we drew the line. But I'd like to think that we were the last two, fans in the stadium last year. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
Did you do the wave at any point, or like the last guy? No.
We had a few drinks, so I'm sure there were a couple.
That is
waves,
definitely cool. I love. You're very like-minded. I mean, not that I've done that at the stadium, and certainly not while the stadium was closing, but like sitting after it's over, I would always do that. With one friend in particular who usually would manage to almost get arrested in the process, because like, I'm going to get on the field. I'm gonna go down to the Zamboni doors. Okay, cry. You go for it.
You do you.
But I love sitting, hey, you guys know you got to go, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just a sec.
Yeah.
Just one more minute.
Yeah.
Just 3 more hours in this guy's case.
Right. I love it.
Such an anticlimax, that game. I mean, it's a Trubisky game. 35-8. The game just had no meaning at all, other than it being the last game there, and no playoffs ended up happening either. So
yeah.
Not really perfect setting for like a celebration.
Red helmets.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Off day today for the Buffalo Bills. They'll be back at it tomorrow morning. They'll also be practicing Friday and on Saturday, where they'll be at the stadium for the return of the blue and red practice. And for more on the last couple of days, Sal Capaccio does have a piece up at our website, WGR550.com, and coverage of training camp on WGR is presented by Figo Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And by the Barnes Firm. Car crash, you've got to call the Barnes Firm, 1-800-8-million. Former Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs has found his new home. He signed with Washington on a one-year deal. It's worth up to $12 million. And last season, Diggs spent his time with the New England Patriots, where he had over 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. Per the NFL Wire, Aaron Donald did work out today for the Rams. He had a helmet and pads on, but no word on if he's coming out of retirement just yet to join his former club. And then more lineup news for the Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. 3rd overall pick, running back Jeremiah Love, will not play tomorrow for Arizona. Early afternoon action for the Bisons did see a comeback win for Buffalo. They scored 5 in the 9th to win 7-6. The Blue Jays took down Houston 5-4 in the 10th inning. Mets are at Cleveland at 6:40, while the Yankees, they host the Cardinals later tonight at 7:05. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
It's nothing you did.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you. It's you, but you didn't cross me.
And the Bulldog.
Why did I choose? Why did I just stay in school?
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
I'm having a tough time tearing myself away from the Bills-Browns box score the caller called about in 1984.
84.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
2009 does not have the market cornered on abysmal Browns at Bills games. The 6-3 game is not the only one of those. This one is a disaster. The two-man wave game.
The two-man wave
game
is right. Yep.
I wonder, Pro Football Reference doesn't give me the attendance. Some of the attendance figures in those years were under 20,000.
Yeah, for sure. I remember in the days with the media guide.
Yes,
paging, going through games and just looking at, because they had the every season attendance. There was a section for that, and yeah, there were some a lot of 20,000s in there.
The Bills were 0-9. The Browns were 1-8, and the game ended 13-10 Browns. The only 2 touchdowns in the game were on fumble returns. One by the Bills when the Browns had the ball. One by the Browns when the Browns had the ball on one of their own plays. Ernest Biner picked it up and went all the way.
Yeah.
You could do that?
I guess.
So, yeah, we went to 0-10. And when's the Greg Bell game? Is it like 2 weeks later? 0-10, 0-11, and then, Greg Bell.
Yeah.
Dallas. 803-0550 for your call. We're just kind of reminiscing about the stadium, which is now in, it's not there.
It's a pile, yeah.
It's a pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Here's Greg with us. Hi, Greg.
Guys, how are you? Real long time, first time.
All right. Appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
I lived overseas for a while, and I still managed to listen to you guys when I was living overseas.
Cool.
FYI.
Thank you.
No problem. In any event, all right, I got a story. 2001, I was in my junior year at UB. Friend of mine from high school who was going to Syracuse came up. We went to the Bills game. It was a Sunday night against Tennessee, the first game of the season after the Music City Miracle.
Mm-hmm. I was at that game.
Yep, we were there. I think it was the last season the NFL was on TNT. In any event,
okay.
I'm walking in, and we catch the NFL Films crew filming fans, and my friend and I are there. And, you're a 20-year-old, you're going crazy in front of the camera, stuff like that. Long story short, I made the 2001 video yearbook for the Bills that season. And flash forward about 3-4 years ago, I work in the healthcare field in the area here, and I was working at one of the local hospitals. And this was during, I think the Bills were playing in 22 against Houston. And on CBS, they've gotten into the habit of showing the craziness of the Bills fans through the years. And I was at the hospital, and I was working the COVID unit. This was in the rages of COVID when the hospitals were overflowing, and I'm gowning up to go in. And in the prep room, for the section of the facility they had the game on. And I'm gowning up, and they're showing the fans. And I'm in my 40s now. I see 20-year-old version of myself right there going nuts when they're showing the fans.
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, I stop and say to myself, and I see the nurses, and I go, look, there I am. And they all looked, and they're like, no way, that's you. I was like, yeah. And first of all, what a glorious head of hair I had back then. And I'm standing there, and I'm saying to myself before I go in there, and I'm like, is this a version of my life flashing before my eyes before I go in there? But anyway, so I saw that, and now ever since that year, every season for at least one game a year, they show clips of that of all the fans, and I'm pretty much consistently in there at least one game a season when they come back from commercial. I know I made it when they played the Seahawks in Seattle a couple years ago, and I made it this season as well, I think, when they played the Eagles. So that was pretty wild. So it's always a constant reminder of my time there.
Greg, what was the secret? Did you have your shirt off? I mean, double flex? Was there some tips you could give? Yes.
Listen, 5-10 push-ups, get a pump. You walk in there, you get amped up, and then you just scream like a maniac till both your arms go numb.
All right. Write that down, everybody. That's it.
That did the trick. All right.
Thank you, Greg. Just push-ups reminded me of whenever that was, I was doing all the push-ups. Was that before COVID? When was my push-up thing? Push-up phase.
Right. Yeah. You were doing more every day or whatever
Mike
it was.
Dempsey from Jacksonville. Look at him. I mean, that guy is ripped. His thing was, I heard him say it on his show once, on January 1st, whatever year, he did one push-up, and he did one more every day. This was the year I turned 50. Because I remember pondering, so in November, on my birthday, or whenever we were flying to Maui, to Honolulu, when am I going to get the push-ups in? It would have been like 200 by then. It was late 250, whatever that is on the calendar, how many days into the year it is. I would have needed to find time to do 250 push-ups. We had a 10-hour flight. So when am I going to do them? I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to do them in the aisle. I mean, I couldn't do them all at once, probably 250 push-ups. So I'm going to have to break it up and do some of them on the plane if I'm going to keep the streak alive.
Right.
But I bailed on it when I was in the 80s, like March or April.
Yeah.
I got to a point where my wife was critiquing my form and, oh, you're going to hurt your back that way. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I talked to my doctor. You don't have to do 100 push-ups a day. Just, do 10 and walk.
Yeah.
And you're okay. Like, you don't have to do, you don't have to, I'm not that guy anyway.
Yeah.
So just a light bulb went on when the caller mentioned push-ups. Like, oh, that happened to me.
Yeah.
I did that. I remember I was at a draft at Shango that
and
spring.
You had to do push-ups.
And I'm like, guys, I got to take a break. And I just went to the floor. I mean, it's a floor. But, I'll wash my hands after and just banged out like 20. Back to the draft. Clock resumed. All right, back to the show.
I can do 60.
60 in one?
Yeah.
Sit in one at a time?
You don't want to critique I'm not passing any U.S. Marine Corps criteria.
I see you do them in here sometimes.
I haven't. That's been a long time. But yeah, I can still. I did. In fact, I did 60 today before I went and golfed. Because I was stretching and I hadn't done any in a while. I thought, let me just make sure I can still, because the number was 40 for a long time. That was the most I could do, and then I got to 60, and I've never gotten further than that. But it'd been maybe 2 weeks since I'd done any, so I was on the floor stretching to go play golf, and I'm like, I'll just hammer out 60 push-ups, and I was able to do it.
Nice.
Still, so.
Very good. Let's go to Mike here. Hi, Mike.
A little push-up bragging over here.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
Good to talk
thanks.
to you guys.
Yeah, same here.
So I was listening, and I heard the Wave guy talking about his game against the Browns in '84, and I had to call in because I experienced that myself, but in a different way. So back in the day, I grew up in Buffalo, but I went to college at Arizona State, and I had a part-time job. This is in the mid-'80s. Had a part-time job working for an airline, and I worked on the ramp. And so as many times would be, I'd work on a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and I was going into a big break room, and they had a TV in there, and I went in, and it was the halftime show, and it was actually Bob Costas, not Greg Gumbel.
Right.
And I'm watching the TV, and he says, and they're doing the Wave in Buffalo. And there it is. It's two guys doing the wave, and then behind them is just this big wave of just empty seats, of blue bleachers. Just not a soul, another soul in sight. And so I just had to call because I actually saw that live, or not live, but the tape of at halftime.
Yeah.
In 1984. And the funny thing is, I use that as an example all the time, especially to my son who's 22, to say, it hasn't always been this way in Buffalo. When they don't have a good team, it's like the Sabres. They're not going to go out and spend money on teams that aren't going to, have a good product out there. That was an example. Who knows how many fans were there? It probably was less than 20,000.
That was the case in those days. Often, yes. Yeah. Less than under 20.
Yeah. So I was luckily I was in Arizona at that time, but I went to many games where there was bad weather and all that. So and you mentioned Greg Bell, kind of another thing. I think it was that same year. There was a station in the Phoenix area that actually broadcasted Bills games. And for whatever reason, I actually I wasn't working one Sunday. I woke up early. My roommates were laughing at me because the Bills, I think, hadn't won yet. And I actually got up early and listened to the Bills game because it came out at like 10 a.m. there.
Yep.
Because of the 3-hour difference. And I remember it was the one where Greg Bell, he scored on the first play of the game.
Yes, that's right.
88-yard touchdown run.
Yes.
So I think it was 84,
yes,
but I'm not
positive
of that.
Yeah,
but
same year.
It's 2
I
weeks.
just remember them giving me a hard time.
Thank you, Mike. It's 2 weeks after that Browns game. I'm just looking at it today because this has all come up. 85 yards on the first play from scrimmage. And Dallas was good, and the Bills were.
And then they cut to the stadium, and I don't think it's the two guys doing the way, but it's like there is just a few people and mounds of snow, at the corners of the field, and it just looks like, just no one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those shows to show like how things changed when Reed and Bruce and Andre and Thurman eventually all sort of took hold of Marv.
There's also a shot like that of the stadium in the excellent 5-part documentary about OJ that I think is through ESPN 30 for 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one I watch. I've watched it many times, and there's a shot of, the message is clear.
Right.
This is winter. This is what winter looks like. This is the Arctic Circle.
Nowhere. Yeah, right.
And it was who was the defensive end? Earl Edwards.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's in it, and he's like, OJ hated Buffalo. It was so cold. I don't know. Like, not everybody said that OJ hated Buffalo, but this guy did. Chip is next. Hello.
Hey guys. Good evening now, not afternoon.
Good evening.
Before I forget, the first thing I want to say is when I was listening, I heard the guy say about the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they called security, and the security guy said, you're at a Bills game? And so I guess I had season tickets from 88 to 21. So those signs were up. So I would point right to that big sign across the way and say, that's not a warning that says there might be salty language. It says if people are bothering you with language, call this number and the guys will come and help. So, that would have been ridiculous if someone said that to me. Anyway, again, I was 88 to 2021.
Yep.
We hit it perfect. I was 20 years old. My 5 friends were 19 or 20 as well. We had jobs. We were able to afford it. And we got to see all the good stuff, basically. You don't have to go through all of it.
Yep.
One thing that I do regret, Mike, I was with you. I went on the field, and I've never been so terrified in my life. I was in the middle of it, not even close to the goalpost or the nets or anything. I had no control over my body. For a good 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'm done, and I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
So, and then, just some of the things we did as far as, the tailgating stuff. And, I'm not going to lie. There's some things that wouldn't rate very high on an IQ scale, but none of it was super crazy.
But none of it was anything that would have been considered an offense by the signs in the stadium.
Right.
I don't think so. No. Right. So no, this is in the parking lot.
Running
so
on the field,
right?
For example.
No, not on the field. No. We didn't. No. We were
Is that a
pretty
warning?
lubed up a lot, but in the parking lot, some of the things. I'll give you one example. We had a friend who worked at Costanzo's, and he was able to grab the rolls that they were going to throw out on Saturday night, and he would bring them. He'd bring 6 dozen rolls, and as the opposing team fans were walking, we were parked on the from the ECC lot. We would toss.
You're throwing hoagie rolls at these people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hard rolls. Stale hard rolls at guys in Merino jerseys, right?
All right, thanks, Chip. Just don't swear around this guy. He'll throw stuff at you and run around on the field uncontrollably, but just don't swear. Here's James next. Hi, James.
Hey, how are you doing, guys?
All right,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Thanks for calling.
Just as we're doing reminiscing, it was 1988 when I went to my first game as a 10-year-old, and I got to, at that time, the Buffalo Bills players where they parked, you could walk right up to them and they would get out of the car and you can get your autographs. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget Bruce Smith stepping out of that car and me looking up. He instantaneously became my favorite player of all time. Now, fast forward, going to that stadium all those years and bringing my daughters to that stadium. I have an opportunity to bring my entire family this Saturday to walk into that new stadium together. And it's just such a full circle moment. It's amazing. My family asks me not to yell as the Bills game begins every single week, and because of how emotional I get and how much I love the Bills. And now here I am bringing my entire family day one for the public to walk into this stadium, and I couldn't feel happier.
Yeah, no, good for you.
Because I'm not a season ticket holder. I just have generous friends, and
that's awesome.
It's fantastic. Yeah, just wanted to give you that.
Good for you.
Bills. Go Bills.
Thanks, James. You must live well to have people in your life like that. You must be worth it.
Right. I think my thought would be most people who have those access for Saturday want to use it. So good for you that you're going to find your way in there.
Bulldog told me earlier today that Scotty Bowman threw out the first pitch at the Bison's game today.
Indeed, he did.
How about that?
Yep.
92. He heard about Marv Levy getting some publicity for turning 101. He's like,
let me go throw out a first pitch. Yep.
Yeah, let me get out there and deal.
Yeah.
Let me get on the mound and start dealing.
I think he was on the grass in front.
They don't let you stand on the mound anyway.
He got to the mound.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Scotty Bowman, 353 playoff games coached in the NHL with 5 franchises, including the Sabres. Never a losing record with any in the end. He was 500 or better in the playoffs with every team he coached, 5 franchises.
Even here.
Even here. He was 500 exactly. And he left the Sabres in the late 80s. 1991, the Penguins won the Stanley Cup for the first time with Bob Johnson, Badger Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took ill. So Bowman took over the Penguins, 91-92. Johnson died in November, but it was Bowman's team the second year, and they won again.
Yep.
His first year with Pittsburgh was a cup year.
And then he went to Detroit and won there.
And then he won in Detroit. Yep.
Never won here.
Nope. They were really good for a few years.
Yep.
The 80 team was great. Then they just bumped their head on the Adams Division ceiling a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, Quebec. But, awesome that Bowman is around.
Yeah.
I've never even spoken with him.
I've talked to him on the air, and I met him once in person, and he sort of was just like, oh, you guys, kind of like that to me. Like I think I was with Kevin Sylvester then, and we were at some golf tournament where we did our show in the morning and then we played, and he was there, and we came across him somewhere in our. I don't think it's not something I think like that's a great memory.
Yeah,
it just sort of felt like, oh, you're the smart guy from the radio. That's how it felt.
Yeah, you know everything, huh?
Yeah. Fine, whatever. He's Scotty Bowman. But
He might have been right.
Yeah.
He might have had cause.
Yeah.
You know, people use the expression, the bingo card expression all the time. And it's often like not quite right. What I think of it as like a bingo card would be it for us or for my career, like guests. And Bowman should be on the bingo. He's somebody that by now I think I probably should have had a small at least conference.
Right.
I mean, some of the people that Mike Tyson has been on this show. I mean, we really like he would not be on the bingo card.
No.
Which is, when people would say he's not good, you wouldn't have that on the bingo. Like that's right. That would be correct usage of
Gary Sinise, for
Gary
example.
Sinise, actors, Right. There are certain Reggie Jackson. There are certain of these sort of like one-off opportunities we had. But Bowman, I mean, living in the area for all the time we spend on the Sabres, it's never happened. Now I'm thinking of Eric Edholm. We're going to have that conversation. I think he did use the bingo card at one point in our conversation. Listen for it. I hope it works. Really enjoyed our chat with Eric. He's with Yahoo now talking about the Bills and the upcoming season. He was ready to fire on the Bills. Stay tuned for that here on WGR.